Hey, I'm Jackson Lanzing. Welcome back to V.A.S.T. We're in the second half of our season now, which is going to get pretty different than the first half of our season in certain exciting ways. But this one is one I've been looking forward to for a while. It's the first time that our crews have crossed over and then left some permanent damage, at least insofar as our format is concerned. At the end of the second part of our crossover episode, Third Armed Stellar Survival Directory, and I apologize, by the way, for the long, absurd title. I hope you understand why now, and I hope that mystery was worth 2 games. I certainly had a blast. I was exhausted by the end of it. Thank you for sticking through it. But at the end of that episode, we had, to me and to our cast, I think, and to our writers and to the audience, a bit of a surprise. That being that the Brightest Eye crew, who up until now have been seeking out the cosmically important "this might be a good idea," played by our very own Colin Kelly, managed to get their quarry. Not through any kind of physical machinations on the planet, though they had 8 hours to do so, but through a sort of culminative transporter event. They're flipping me off, but it's true, guys. You literally changed it at the very last second. And as a result now, the game gets to change a little bit. It gets to evolve, and it gets to draw a little bit more of that PvP flavor that you saw in the previous last couple episodes, now into every episode. And we're going to kind of get into what that looks like starting tonight. I don't really think the Brightest Eye, well, at least most of them, know what they've gotten themselves into by engaging a hostile Colin Kelly. So they are now in combat with Colin Kelly's mind, and that's going to lead us to some really interesting places. So without further ado, yeah, no lie. Without further ado, I want to have a couple more announcements about tonight's episode and then get started. The first is, we're back to episodes that aren't written by me. Wahoo! It's especially exciting for me because it means that I get to interpret both the words and thoughts and characters of science fiction writers that I really respect and love. So in this particular case, tonight's episode was written by Anne Mortensen Agnew, who is an excellent writer of many things, not the least of which is a webcomic called 9 Twilights, which you can check out. Check out my Twitter. I put up a link, or follow her on Twitter and just see it all the time. So with that in mind, we've also got a guest star. Tonight we are welcoming back Amy Vorpal, who came in our last episode. Came through and made quite a dent as Gasco Ueno, and tonight she'll be coming back for some more fun. So with that in mind, sit back, relax, and enjoy the Cyryn contract. This is Van.
We are the Brightest Eye, a proud and noble species of survivors.
We alone have stood against the SLATE. We alone are favored by the gods.
For centuries, we have known only isolation, but a new day has dawned.
Our people are in peril, and we will stop at nothing to survive.
This galaxy is dangerous, but our fury is vast.
Welcome back to V.A.S.T. It's V.A.S.T. We're back. It's V.A.S.T. We're back.
You can see our ship again.
Things have gotten a little bit different, and as you can tell, though our HUD still has 5 people, Dylan DeVale is on his way, but is not quite here yet. We are in a bit of a different situation insofar as we have Good Idea now over on the other crew. This is all very exciting.
Friends.
Before we get started and just sort of shove ourselves into this brand new world we live in where you guys are so very triumphant, I want to give you all a chance to introduce yourselves to anybody who might be new to V.A.S.T. So let's go ahead and start with the captain of our intrepid crew, Max.
Hi, I'm Max Isaacson. I play Visionary Destroyer, the captain of the Brightest Eye crew. And on today's episode, I am the happiest boy in the galaxy.
The happiest bug in the galaxy.
Skittle, skittle, skittle.
Yeah, hashtag happiest boy in the galaxy.
Yeah.
All right, to our XO.
My name's Ray U. Hatchet. I play Nidar the Mind. I am the first officer on the ship. And my favorite pastime is to invade people's minds.
Yes. And more of that to come.
Yes.
Over to our tactical.
Hi, my name is Jody Hauser. I play Pac-Ha the Limb, who's the tactical officer. She loves trees. Trees do not seem to love her anymore.
Falling out of 2 different sets of trees in 2 different sets of games.
And I had a really high roll. The dice were just not psyched on this.
Wait,
No.
would you say that you're falling out of love with trees?
The trees are falling out of love with her.
Yeah.
She will never lose her love.
To the owner of that particular joke.
God hated that joke. That's why. Are we just continuing or are we standing by?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Wait, are we standing by? Oh.
Yeah, shut it down. Would you say that the trees were
that was Putin.
Oh, hey, look.
That was because
Exciting. So we're still broadcasting. We've just got no.
Oh.
Would you say
So earlier we were making.
No, Alpha
And
loves
actually,
puns.
last
Their
time
their
when we
puns
were
have
on
been
break,
out of this
everything was
world.
on the VOD.
Earlier we were
Good to
making
know.
a lot
well,
of
because
jokes.
it all recorded in the TriCast?
Their pun game.
Yeah.
Would you say
Is
that the
vast.
trees were leafing her behind?
I would say that. I would say earlier we were making a lot of jokes about Putin, and he decided to unleash his
Yeah.
legions of Russian hackers on this.
It was like Grizzly Bear Man or whatever your name is.
Did you guys? Does anybody remember what the Russian news network is called?
Compromat.
No,
We're back.
I mean, are you talking about like Russia Today?
Oh, so we're not.
RT.
RT.
Yeah.
Did you see the story about how MSNBC was
C-
talking?
C-SPAN.
C-SPAN,
was
yeah.
talking about Russia.
Yeah.
And for
well,
5
technically
minutes.
the Senate was talking about Russia, and
For
then C-SPAN.
5 minutes, the C-SPAN
and then it
feed
got-
went blank and was
Yeah.
replaced with
they,
RT.
They did say they think it was an internal routing and it was not from outside.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they would say after Putin calls with his compromise.
All right.
I have compromat on
Anyway.
this.
Are
On
we-
this
I hope
table.
you guys like compromat jokes, because that's all tonight is apparently. They haven't stopped
a
since
lot
they
of-
walked in the
No,
building.
we're good.
We're fine.
There you go. All right. So onward and upward. Science.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Callan. I play Hansarald Nirun. And little spoiler for tonight, Hans has a plan for how to deal with being in combat with Colin Kelly's mind.
That's an exciting. Well, so a little bit of a heads up, I guess, to our audience who might not realize this yet. Though, if you follow me on Twitter, I've been telling the story a little bit, so you might have seen this. In my aforementioned many times Star Trek game that I've run with a lot of these people, John's character was partners with Colin's character for one of our most, for what I think is probably our most defining plot line. And really knows his playstyle, and Colin really knows John's playstyle. So tonight you're actually going to ideally see 2 players who have known each other as friends, as colleagues, as co-writers, and as like partners in an RPG system.
Galaxy-defining partners.
Yeah.
I miss you. I wish we weren't on other sides of the table.
Pit against each other in a really exciting way. So there's a for me this is extra exciting because I feel like this has like been preluded by about 5 years of role playing. But for all of y'all, I think it's just exciting to see the squishies have squishy fight. Speaking of
Very
squishies, our newest member of the crew.
Newest, but don't get used to me. I won't be here long.
We'll see.
I am Colin Kelly. I play This Might Be a
You've
Good
always
Idea.
been here.
I currently find myself, against my will, captured by
Lovely people.
lovely people who I'm very excited to become very good friends with.
Yeah.
It's such a lie, you guys. Okay, and lastly, let's introduce our guest star because she's here, and I don't want to just like keep her in the corner like I did in the last episode for very long. So if we can we get Amy up on screen?
Beep boop beep beep boop boop
Can
boop.
we put Amy in the corner?
Literally.
Yeah, there we go. Amy in the corner.
Hello. I'm Amy Vorpal. On Alpha, I'm a writer for Mothership and Sidekick with Matt Myra, and then on Geek and Sundry, I'm also on Foreververse, and I'm reprising the role of Gasca Ueno. I know my name. Gasco
Names are
Ueno.
complicated.
Yeah.
Names are very hard.
Yeah.
And she's brought some baked goods with her, so.
Yes.
Yeah. All right,
Vasquez
and
demands are good.
unseen for now is erstwhile pilot, Noble Defender, played by our very own Dylan DeVal. Imagine him there until he's here.
He's a good ghost.
Okay, so we're gonna get started, you guys. This is some exciting times. We have a lot to get through tonight, as we do in most episodes of V.A.S.T. So just bear with me as we pummel through this fun adventure. But first, we're gonna do something a little bit different, and we're going to flash back to a moment that I have been excited to see, that has been pitched to me by the cast. As they've been working out what this thing would be, and so I'm going to give them a chance to do that. So with that in mind, let's kick off episode 9 of V.A.S.T. I know what episode it is. Episode 9 of V.A.S.T. by Anne Mortensen Agnew, entitled The Cyryn Contract.
Are we sure it's episode 9?
I think it's 8.
Is it
I think
episode
it's
8?
eight.
It's 8.
Episode 8 of V.A.S.T. I'm
The
sorry,
mind
guys.
games have already begun.
We begin 6 years ago on the vessel known as the Obliterating Fire.
I love the obliterating.
Partisan teacher, you've had this command for 1 year, and your father has been unimpressed thus far with your results. Until, that is, today. For today, you and the other Brightest Eye crew members, as this was still a time when other Brightest Eye would serve under your command, discovered and put down a vassal rebellion aboard your ship. Vassal rebellions are unheard of in the Brightest Eye. Vassals are brainwashed from birth. They know no other way. And yet, this rebellion was made up entirely of limbs aboard your ship who had cut themselves off from Nidar's coordinated control in secret and begun to plan a takeover of the ship in an effort to return to freedom on Limworld. There were 200 involved in this rebellion. All of them have been apprehended. Their lives are yours to do with as you see fit. But first, you've asked to speak to the rebellion's leader, a 7th tier limb working a dangerous job on the Obliterating Fire's burn cannons, essentially loading massive slugs into these things. Most limb don't last a few months on that job. This limb has lasted a year. The limb has been brought to a place of your choosing. Where is it?
Airlock?
Proceed. Lim, you enter the airlock, escorted by 2 Brightest Eye larger than you. Quite larger. Each of your limbs has been cuffed, some
It's a lot of
behind,
cuffs.
some behind, some in front, to avoid any kind of coordinated effort to escape. Standing in the airlock, partisan teacher, the very captain you sought to overthrow. Proceed.
She just glares. She doesn't say anything. She knows where this is going.
I brought you here less as a show of force and more as a practical means. If I'm going to kill you, I just want it to be efficient. I think you understand that it's likely I'll kill you.
She just still keeps glaring.
I have a question. What do you think of the head limb on this ship?
What?
Well, I want to know. You just took the better part of the limb crew here and tried to take over. Why not include the head limb?
Because he's weak. Because if I thought he would play any part of this, he wouldn't have taken the position he has. He's already given up.
And you haven't? You've been here firing my guns for a year. Killing my enemies for a year. I would have assumed you'd given up too.
It takes a while to plan something like this. To
How
get to know
long?
who you can, well, a year.
When you went through your trials on Limworld to get assigned to my ship, did you want to serve the brightest eye?
No.
When you were a child growing up on Limworld, did you want to serve the brightest eye?
No.
You've never wanted any part of us, and yet you come here onto my crew just for what purpose?
I didn't have a choice. I tried to escape the tests.
Why not kill yourself?
I'd never wanted to do that.
It seems about the same as trying to foment rebellion on my ship. Did you think you'd get away with it?
Yeah. We have the numbers.
I suppose you do. I suppose they all do. You know, the brightest eye, as a species, don't run this part of the galaxy because they have the numbers. They run this part of the galaxy because they think differently. Because they look at the universe in a different way than anybody else. They know they're better.
I know.
They know they can help people.
I know, and the limb could have been more, and they chose not to be.
I think that's probably true. I think all of your species could have been more. Can be more. I think you're a testament to that. When you enlisted your first rebel in this ridiculous little coup, what did you say to them?
I just asked them how much they missed the trees back home.
The trees back home. Who cares about the trees back home?
I do,
Why?
because that's where I belong. That's all I ever wanted to do was just to go home.
You're an interesting thing. Pac-Ha.
It's the first time you've heard your name in maybe 10 years.
You're an interesting thing. I don't like throwing away interesting things. I'm going to make you an offer. The head limb's job has just been freed up. And I think it needs someone with a little bit more backbone. So I'll make you this offer. Take the job. Lead your other limbs. And I can promise you this. You will one day see your home. don't take the job. And not one limb on this ship ever will.
Fine.
It's going to be a pleasure working with you. Let her go.
The cuffs are undone automatically. The brightest eye take them. Stand back.
Can I get on the concordance with some of the other brightest eye?
Of course. Shipwide?
No, whoever has the other head limb.
Yep. That's your bridge officers.
Bring the head limb down to the airlock for me.
A minute later, it's done. The head limb of your ship, an older limb, his whole life in service to the brightest eye, aged, wrinkled, steps onto the airlock. By now, the two of you have moved into the observation chamber of the airlock, thus allowing him to enter it freely. His eyes go to you immediately, and then to Pac-Ha, where they remain.
Pac-Ha, brightest eye don't earn their names easily. They take them or are given to them for very good reason. I got mine because I believe in everything I do. And I use every action as a lesson. That limb there failed me even more impressively than you have. You, at the very least, tried to kill me. He let you try to kill me. So I'm going to give you a gift, and I hope the lesson of it comes across clear. I'm going to open the door to the airlock and let her in, and I'm going to leave. He's yours. Take his job.
Pac-Ha, you step into the airlock. The other limb is standing there. It is not cuffed. But it also makes no attempt to move towards or away from you. It is fully docile.
Oh, that just fucking pisses her off so much. She literally just like lunges at him, and it's like all the rage of the revolt that she just saw burn up in front of her. She just lets it loose on that guy.
Are you trying to kill him?
I don't think she's even thinking that. I think she just wants to punch him in the face.
As each of your limbs, I'm not even going to make you roll for this, because he doesn't defend. As each limb goes down on his face, and as he becomes more and more dislocated and unconscious, he says only one phrase. The eye shines bright. His neck snaps.
Oh. She kind of stands up, and she's a little bit shaken by what she just did, but she just looks down at him, and there's no pity there. There's no, she's just sort of resigned at this point. She is now what she is.
And as you step out of the airlock and the airlock itself clears, the body flying out into space.
And she does not look back.
And she does not look back. Cut to.
Oh, man.
6 years later.
Everything is happy now.
Right, we're like broing down.
Is it? Your ship flew end over end for light years.
Oh, geez.
Uncontrollable and uncontrolled. Each of you essentially pinned where you stood as you executed your last command to beam Good Idea aboard your vessel. As your ship flies out deeper and deeper into unknown Cyryn space, and it stops, each of you wake in darkness. What do you do?
God damn
My first thing is look for that guy, because last I saw he was beamed on board the ship.
You are in darkness.
Do I have any light generating things on me?
Your suit itself has small flashlights on it, which can illuminate
Okay,
small
I'm
areas.
turning those on then.
Okay. As you do,
And making myself a target. But
as you do, you realize that you are on the bridge of the ship. Around you, arrayed are your captain, who is essentially up on his command perch. You are just waking as well, having essentially been like locked there. Your scar tissue that sort of runs all up and down your body, the Concordance has acted to fill that in with cybernetic enhancement. So now sort of imagine you have a big sort of silver cybernetic deal up here that it sort of self-repaired while you were unconscious.
Cool.
Nidar is also there, but his jar is not in its where it would normally be like contained when the ship was in active motion. You've kind of rolled off to the side of the thing and are picking yourself up using the little
I'm stuck under a chair.
using the little modules. Hans is at the science terminal where he just utilized the transporters of the other vessel to do this. You're on the Screaming Valor, which itself is towing the larger vessel. All the power sort of seems to be off. Each of you is waking. Good Idea has been transported to the bridge as well. You are unconscious for now. Perhaps the first thing that you realize is that Noble Defender is not there. Go ahead and fly that 6th chair out. Dylan will not be joining us tonight.
oh no. Hey. Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh. Oh man.
Fucking nobody. No, nobody's got any talent.
Well, I
in
could
that.
put out a telepathic scan first, see if he's around, right?
Yes, you could.
Sort of like,
Before we do that, we have an immediate problem. This tongue can wake up at any moment.
I want to take. I want to take his gun away.
So, yeah.
Wait, fuck his gun, take his tongue away. You need to gag him right now.
I am taking his gun away.
Yeah, the first thing we're gonna do is, set up, get a security crew up here, Pac-Ha, strip him of everything. You're not wrong, Hans. Gag him and throw him in a brig. Soundproof it. I don't care what. Make it a fucking lead box.
Okay. As you move towards the body, Colin, good idea. Roll for your composure,
Object.
which is 9.
object.
Real quick, can I concordance brightest eye wide and give them my coordinates?
Yes.
Great.
The concordance is operational. It's sort of still coming online as you yourself come online. The first thing that you send out is your
8.
the first thing that you send out is that's an 8 out of a 9 roll.
I dodged 2 crits.
Dang.
Legit.
As you do that, you sort of send out your location ping
Yep.
out to the concordance. The limb, and this is literally as Pac-Ha is reaching down for its multi-weapon, which is sort of a brightest eye design weapon that normally is only held by tongues.
I thought he had a Pac-Ha thing.
No, he has a multi-weapon, as I recall. Or is it a Cyryn multi-weapon?
I know. I remember my my.
You,
He
you
went
had
buddied
your,
up with
your
that
buddy,
guy.
your
Yeah.
buddy dude from the armory.
Oh, right.
Lieutenant Morgan.
Right.
gave
I'm
me
sorry.
a-
He gave you the multi-tool.
Well, he gave
Yeah.
me some kind of Pac-Ha.
Yeah, I'm
it's a
sorry.
Pac-Ha
I'm entirely
weapon.
But I
wrong about
probably
that.
still have the.
You're correct. You have the Pac-Ha multi-weapon.
Yeah.
As you reach for the multi-weapon, Good Idea wakes. Go ahead and and this isn't for combat necessarily, but just because I want us to determine turn order in this situation, I'd like everybody to roll initiative, please. You guys got your initiative numbers?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Also 4.
4 buddies. Bling.
I have 4 buddies.
Wait, you got 4 successes?
Yeah, we both got 4 successes.
Did you get 4, Max?
I got 2.
Ah.
My initiative is crap.
I got 2.
Okay, what are our numbers?
0.
Okay, let's just roll this down. Good idea?
4.
4.
2.
2.
0.
Okay. Both 4s re-roll. Both 2s re-roll.
You ready to dance?
3.
2.
3.
3, 4.
That's
0, 4.
Okay. Turn order is straight down the board.
No, I got higher.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, with the exception of Taka. My bad. Thank you. Taka, what do you do?
I take that weapon away from him because he shot me with it and it hurt a lot, and I don't want him to have that anymore.
Okay, she pulls your weapon away from you.
That's not his most important weapon.
strength check to resist her.
Sure, go for it. Go ahead, and this is a strength check for both of you.
Is it even in your hand?
Your strength check is 14. Good idea. Your strength check
It's 2. No.
Goodbye,
has
guy.
never been determined.
Really
You have
a
never
perfunctory
punched
number.
anything.
I have never. There's literally no way I could win, but I feel, morally
No,
obligated
don't worry
to
about it.
at least
We got a billion of these things.
impetuously hang on to my only protection.
Yeah, you don't have a
Here
strength
it
check.
comes.
You literally have 0 checks. So don't even bother rolling unless she crit fails.
No, I got a.
Strength of will.
I got 6.
Yeah, but you have a
Okay.
hand of 0 or -1. So
True.
it
6,
checks against.
6.
6.
Oh my god.
Yeah. She pulls your weapon
Punch
with
this
no
thing.
no problem. You try to hold on to it, but
It slides right off his little noodle arm.
I'm gonna count that as a passive action on your part since you literally couldn't roll for it.
Yeah. Sure.
What do you do?
Hello,
Hi.
ship. Brightest eye. Processing. I appear to be in the wrong place.
I think you're in the right place.
That's obviously a respectable. Let's agree to disagree in that case.
Also, Taka is very pointedly not pointing his own weapon at him. She just sort of has it to her side.
Well.
Heretic?
If we have non-verbal actions, can we go through the remainder of those before we continue to talk
No,
to
since
Cena?
his action is inherently verbal.
Okay.
I am.
It's just hard.
It's okay. It doesn't have to be a conversation. Let me
Yeah,
talk.
it's not gonna be a conversation. I'm just saying hello, and fuck, Brightest I have no mercy. I was gonna be like, I'll throw myself on their mercy. No, there's no mercy here. I'm going to flop over, and this has been, and this is terrible, and I'm a useless jelly human who I'm just useless. This is totally, I'm panicked, I'm terrified, I am absolutely zero threat.
Okay, just to be super clear, are you doing this as a feint to try to get them to underestimate you, or are you doing
I am
this because
attempting
you
to-
are literally terrified?
I'm attempting to persuade them that I am zero threat.
Got it.
And to be treated as a totally helpless
And
bystander.
I would totally listen to see if that was true or
Yeah,
not.
completely fair. Let's work on his thing first. Roll
you have a dope
24,
gun?
please. Good idea.
My trank doesn't exactly work that way, but it won't knock him out. It could, I suppose, if I
I
did.
need everybody essentially to roll a social defense on this, okay? The social defense for
Whether or not we take him as a threat?
no, on whether or not you immediately, basically the degree of a threat that you believe he is. Because in all honesty, guys, you really don't know. Like,
Right.
you might know from a metagaming perspective that this character is a
Well, I mean,
one
I've
tongue,
seen him like
but
shot Taka like a million times.
Yeah.
you've seen him be desperate as a
Yeah.
physical threat
Yeah.
before. Like, you've had literally no encounters with him
We don't know.
and know very little
We don't
about
know
him.
what the function of tongues is within Brightest Eye
No,
Society.
but no. You know that tongues are diplomats within Brightest Eye Society. You don't know the degree to which this one is.
How good he is at his job.
Okay.
Because, in all honesty, most of what you know about this guy has to do with his sort of legendary status among the Brightest Eye.
10, 11.
His heretical nature.
So, Taka, your
Would I be doing listen?
your
or would
perception
I be
listen,
doing-
which is
yeah.
14.
Okay.
Hans, your social defense
Hang on one second. Just roll this one.
is
die
your
roll.
composure. Your
Oh, you're saying use the phone.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I thought you were saying to use the phone.
No, I want to eat it. Hum, 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 hum. I eat phones. I'm a man from Mars.
Hans, your social defense is 3.
Okay.
Nidar, your social defense is 10.
All right.
Billion.
And Visionary, your social defense.
-5, probably.
Wow.
Look at this. Look at this insanity.
Never again.
How are you?
Insane.
You're perfect. I mean, that literally is perfect, but. Oh, I think my concordance
Is
was
15.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm quite resolute.
Quite resolute for a giant cyber bug.
Cyberbug party.
Respectable.
I'm a cyberbug. I'm a cyberbug. Cyberbug.
All right, we got numbers for everybody? All right, Killer. Let's get the offense roll first.
9.
All right, you all are looking to beat a 9. Taka?
7.
Cool.
5.
Nidor?
9.
Very nice.
And
I literally rolled 3 10s and still not enough. That's insane.
so that's 6 still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good roll. All right. So he throws you down, and weirdly enough, most of you feel a sense of like pity for this poor floppy, throwing himself on his mercy kind of guy. Maybe you were overestimating exactly how powerful this guy was. Nidar, on the other hand, can sense in his mind something sharper, something different, and since you've really been haunted by the events of the last, say day or so, you are not ready to trust anyone, let alone a tongue of the brightest eye.
And just to clarify, to the extent that Max would know, right?
That's a good question.
Are tongues like Vorta?
No.
They are just diplomats and dignitaries and intermediaries.
Yes.
So it's well known that
There's never been anything like a rebellious tongue.
Okay.
Yeah. In the same way that there really wasn't anything like a rebellious limb before we ran into Taka.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
I love
Yeah.
A group of misfits and misanthropes.
So with that in mind, we're gonna take turn order down to Visionary Destroyer,
Okay.
since it's technically your action.
Um,
Your bridge is still without power. Your brother is missing. The concordance just pinged your location.
and I've concordance with the location, right?
It's
Yeah.
just establishing a connection now.
Great.
Like you are still coming to awareness.
Okay. I'm going to ping our location. I'm going to
Okay.
say we have the heretic.
Okay.
And that basically no matter what happens, either I'm bringing him home or somebody else better.
Maybe let him know our ship has no power also. That might be helpful.
Hard to make a call with no power.
We'll get there. No,
no, that's a concordance.
Oh, yeah.
I can call anybody. I have unlimited data.
You even have free
family
roaming.
plan.
Free roaming.
Family plan with the.
And then, okay. Heretic. I don't know if you think you're going to die today, but you're not. In fact, the one thing I can promise you is that I will keep you alive. I will die to keep you alive, as horrible as that sounds.
Good to know.
There's no need to prostrate yourself in front of us. We're going to lock you up. We're going to put you away. Hopefully we won't hear a single thing from you ever again. But you will be alive. Hans, please shut him up. And if that doesn't work, Nidar, please shut him up.
Makes sense that you're just following orders and ignoring all the secrets in my mind, but if you would just to have me close my mouth, then I would be more than happy.
He speaks of secrets.
Oh, just a little something. I don't know, the fate of the world, the fate of the galaxy, the fate of the universe coursing through
Oh, I thought
my
he was talking about something interesting. Never mind.
individual mind.
Wait, do you mean the SLATE?
That's one name for it.
I would very much like to know more about the SLATE.
And you will get to know everything you want once it's in a brig. And cannot hurt anybody else on my crew. It has tried to kill me a couple times. It's tried to kill Pac-Ha a couple times. Honestly, I'm pretty sure by shooting a bunch of weird negative energy out of its entire body, it tried to kill all of us.
That was most fascinating.
Brave and noble and strong, visionary, destroyer, hunter of men, heir and strength of the empire, let me ask you this one small favor. For 700 years, I existed in a box with no windows, no air, no anything. If you wish me to be of any use and to not go perfectly insane once again, all I ask is something with a little breathability.
Takai raises a hand.
God, you people.
I feel like our brigs have plenty
Captain,
of air.
I have an idea.
Yes.
There's plenty of room in my quarters, and I am head of security.
That would be a most.
That's a terrible idea. I do not like it one bit.
It's full of trees. Do you like trees?
I
He
agree.
doesn't like the idea.
It would be a most illogical containment place.
It would be a terrible idea. You should not do that at all. Nope, I do not like trees. It would be a very uncomfortable place. I would not like it.
Well, it seems decided
Sounds
then.
like,
I'll get
We
you our
will
most
keep you in the
spacious
normal
brig.
break.
although,
So it seems like what Max is asking me to do is trank. Good idea. Part of the question there, I think, is based on the notion of what my tranks can do. When fired in combat, I think they're more of a sort of debuff. If administered at a high enough dose, just point to point with a syringe, can I try to knock somebody out with them?
I mean, this is one of those places where normally I would say, like, roll a thing to create the thing and then do it. You know, it would be like a 2-part action, since technically these tranks aren't actually tranks, they're debuff, you know, things. We sort of talked about the specific use of them, right? So,
I mean, I'll take the debuff.
yeah, like, it could
take anything.
It could weaken him for certain. But you would,
he's so
what you
weak
could do,
already.
however, is just knowing you, right? You have essentially tools for the rapid creation of medical situations. If you want to take a turn to build that and then like use it in a minute, you could probably build yourself a pretty effective trank depending on your role.
I will leave it up to my captain.
It's probably not necessary. I'd rather just get him down to a brig. I think that's going to be step one, most important thing.
I concur.
And yeah, so if we can get a security team to escort him down to the brig.
Except, can I call them if we don't have any power?
Who else is on the bridge with us? Is
You
it
are alone on the bridge.
just us. Great, we're gonna walk him down to the brig.
Given that nobody's taken an action, or given that Ray and I have not taken our actions.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
And
We
this
should
is
let you
all
know.
going on simultaneously. It seems very unwise. I'm gonna hop on a console and see what I can do about identifying any
Why there's no-
cause of
There's no
us not having
power,
power and what systems I can get back on.
Sure, absolutely. Technically, it's Ray's turn first.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Just Nidar, what do you want to do?
well, Captain, considering we don't have any crew to bring him down to the brig, I could maybe lock down his mind so he'd be more pliable if we have any issues, if we want to escort him down ourselves.
I think anything that makes this thing more pliable is a great idea.
Then let's do
Nidar
that.
has it.
Okay.
Takai's looking
good idea,
like
not a
super
good idea.
uncomfortable now.
Nidar,
She's having
telepathy
feelings.
control for 14.
14.
Interesting.
14 for lobotomize.
Wait, sorry, actually, that's not quite correct. 19.
19.
That's not a better number.
Oy.
Yep, 19, and good idea. This is a resolve check for you.
Not my greatest.
Which is a mental defense. I don't think we have a resolve check for you yet, it looks like. So
He's diving into the pathways of my mind.
Yes.
Oh, that.
The pathways of my mind that are specifically designed to interpret and speak to any language in the cosmos.
Yes.
So pretty robust mental pathways.
Yes.
So this was a conversation you and I had the other day, right? Is if you have a magic tongue, does that only exist in the tongue or does it exist in the mind? And I would argue it only exists in the mouth.
And I would
Oh, sorry.
Note that you don't know who he is or what.
No,
he
no,
is.
we're talking outside.
Right,
Yeah, we're just having a.
I mean, I think that's one of those places where the mystery of Colin's character plays out here a little deeper.
Okay.
Hey, Colin, I don't think I'm probing your mind exactly. I'm just locking you down.
He's trying to lock you down.
I'm locking you down. I'm making sure you don't do anything that we don't like.
That's fine. I will read.
I will read your mind later.
Give you tempestuous nuggets of interesting.
Yo, good idea.
Yo.
That new merit that you added, it doesn't have a number value.
No, it just allows according to.
No. It has a number value.
It was a 3.
What?
It was a 3 buy.
Okay.
What new merit did you add?
Nothing.
Nothing. Tra-la-la.
Tra-la-la. One of the fun facts of V.A.S.T is that we get XP between games. And we can all upgrade our characters.
I think
We got a lot of XP.
Your resolve roll is 13.
Okay. What? No, I'm pretty sure this
No,
is
I'm
the
sorry,
only.
16. 16, my bad.
Oh. I'm pretty sure this is the only
Where did
game
that
that
come
has upgradable characters.
I forgot a skill that should have counted into that.
Not all RPGs.
So that's 16 for good idea, and Nidar, you're rolling what?
You gave me
He
a
already rolled. He
19,
rolled
I
a 19.
Okay, and what'd you roll?
12.
12.
Yes.
1, 2,
It's
3.
That's a 1.
4. That's a 10.
No, that's a 1.
10s are 1s, double zeros are 10s.
Fair enough.
So that's a crit
1,
fail.
2. Yes, thank you, Jody.
Keep pointing out things he doesn't want to
3,
know.
4, 5, 6, 7.
That's what I'm here
8,
for. I'm security.
9,
nobody
10,
likes you
and
and
minus
you
1 is 9.
No, not you. You're fine.
And what did you roll?
12.
Nice.
Okay. So you reach into the tongue's mind. It's chaotic, it's strange, and in fact, you get some sort of flashes to the library, on the world you just came from, as you do. But you push through them with all of your resolve and essentially lock into the pathways that were built there by the brightest eye. Now, something interesting. You've been inside the mind of tongues before because you've coordinated them on other vessels. His mind does not look a lot like a normal tongue mind. It's laced with technologies and other sort of neural pathways that are atypical of a tongue.
Fancy.
Yeah.
As you dig through it, you find, however, the switch that is generally reserved for vassal loyalty. It's been programmed into them. It's been genetically designed on them. You flip the X to a Y.
What?
Yeah. Cool. Good idea. Your loyalty switch just got activated.
Oh my god!
You are not like, you still don't want to go into the box, but you find yourself a little more pliable and a little more willing.
Wow.
Given that given that like a fundamental aspect of your brain has just been
Reignited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Now you have a
Please
history
tell
with
Hans about the neural circuitry.
overriding your own programming, so you can continue to
There's no
roll
time for
again
that.
to like break out of this.
Took me 700 years last time.
Yeah. But there you go.
Okie dokes. Interesting. Good thing I wore red.
You look very lovely, by the way.
Thank you.
I like your fancy outfit.
Thank you.
Very fancy.
All right,
All right.
Hans.
Sure. The ship
This
stuff.
essentially, by the way, drops you to the ground. You're all but unconscious.
Hey.
Night Art gives an evil laugh. His is an evil laugh.
That's his phalanges.
Yeah, his phalanges do a little dealio. I love it. Hans.
Yeah, the computer stuff.
Yep. Okay, so you run over to the computers. They are currently without power. You are going to roll an engineering check, which is 23, to see how you can repair them.
Successes.
14.
Any crit fails?
You have any crit fails?
There's one. 13.
But then you have 3 crit successes. So.
Yeah. So, 12.
Okay. You manage to reignite auxiliary power into the science station, allowing you a basic understanding of the engineering issues at play on your ship. Essentially, your ship and the pirate vessel that you guys took, the Carnala,
Oh, yeah, that.
has been
Pac-Ha.
essentially has been thrown through space and has impacted many different manners of debris along the way. As a result, 98% of your ship systems are offline. Your weapon systems are cut off. Your engines essentially do not operate. Your power systems, like in terms of your like core power system, is essentially underwent a full-on breach, killing what seems like everybody in your engineering over the course of this. And worse yet, a good portion of your crew seem to have not made it off of the planet. You are understaffed, and most of your ship is pretty messed up. There's a bit of a stuck in space situation for you guys.
Life signs aboard the Karnala?
Life signs aboard the Karnala are maybe about 50% of what they were previous.
Okay, and if I were Scotty and I were reporting to my captain, and I was giving a diagnosis, possible to fix the power core? Impossible? 3 days? 2 days?
Impossible. You will need something of a full-scale rebuild on this vessel.
We just rebuilt the ship.
Okay.
Captain, brace yourself for some bad news. I have heard from non-tall Klee that in these moments, other species prefer to have the moment lightened with humor. Who's got 2 thumbs and isn't going anywhere soon? It's us.
Volunteered to shoot him a while back, if you'll remember.
Yeah, no, we're fine. Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh, I should have pointed out also. Those life signs did not reveal Noble Defender.
So.
Okay, but I don't know that. I should check on him in a minute. Where's
I was gonna say you're eating bananas the whole time, just casually eating bananas.
Hans.
As long as you're having fun, Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, so much fun.
We're not going anywhere, fine, but can you get anything working? Even a Corsair?
A Corsair might be possible.
Yeah, it's certainly something.
That can only get 2 of you off.
It's certainly something that I could look into. In the meantime, would you like me to send a message to the no doubt worried crew aboard the Karnala?
Yeah. Start consolidating all the crews onto one ship. And see what you can do about keeping life support going. Any of the power we can get out of the Corsairs, we should be feeding back into the ship. We want to get this thing up and running. We want to know where we are. And we want to be able to get back to brightest eye space. Also, if you can get the AI up and running in order to start repairing some of the ship-wide systems, that would be helpful too.
Can I get limited ship-to-ship communications?
Go for it, try. It's 23.
Banana man.
Can I ask a question? What is the Karnala? That I don't know.
Oh.
That's our pet pirate ship.
That's a thing. It would be reasonable that just you would know in general.
Okay.
The Karnala is a relatively legendary pirate vessel, generally run by Cyryn pirates. A group called the Corsairs. The Corsairs have long been a thorn in the side of sort of civilized Cyryn society. They tend to be sort of anti-corporatist raiders. You've dealt with them in your time. You've lost a couple of ships to them. You've killed a few of their ships here and there. The Karnala was known as their mothership, and there have been rumors, let's say, that it's been recently taken care of by parts unknown or people unknown.
Like killed off?
Yeah, like bumped off.
I see.
Or attached to the back of a brightest eye ship.
I see.
Yeah, or turned into Cool Backpack.
All right, never mind. I know exactly.
Change
what
the
that
name
is.
of the Karnala to Cool Backpack.
Flashback to the
7.
episode where we almost broke the
Thank
show.
You are working on getting the communicator upline or online. As you do that, we're just going to hold on for a second, and I want to pivot over to Visionary Destroyer. Because your concordance signal pings back.
2 thumbs isn't going anywhere. Okay.
You should release that tongue right away. He's far too important for you to keep on board.
Oh yeah, did I mention Colin's playing your dad from here on out?
It's me, your dad.
Your dad. Papa Bug. Papa Destroyer.
Your dad's
You know
old
what's
man
dead?
McGillicuddy.
Vaudeville, and radio's the thing that killed it.
And what appears in your mind is, once again, an image of the fathers. The mother on her podium, veiled. The great war drums of the brightest eye are sounding in every direction. The image you see primarily is of your father. Visionary Destroyer. You have been removed from the Concordance for some time. Report.
We have the heretic. We found him on a planet. Oh crap! I know the name of this planet, but I can't remember what it was.
Hasclaw First World.
We found him on Hasclaw First World with a Pac-Ha crew. Planet, the crew of the Starcrosser Avalon that you had allowed me to declare war on. We fought for him. We took him. The planet has been destroyed. And I don't know where we are. Our ship has no power and no ability to communicate.
But the heretic is secure.
He's ours.
The eye shines bright! And like the whole place sings in concordance. A
Classic.
beautiful music is sent through the galaxy-wide Brightest Eye Concordance. A celebratory song in your name.
It's all you've ever wanted.
All of our efforts now are in concordance. And then the image flashes for a second to planets across the Brightest Eye. On Limb World, where Brightest Eye sing to the heavens, while even in the sky, the SLATE begins to cut across their blue sky. On Mind World, where the harvesters, those who pull the minds out of their consciousness and plug them into the great machines, all sing to the high heavens, even as the SLATE darkens the sky above them.
Oh, damn.
On ships retreating into the Brightest Eye from the ring of SLATE that now surrounds them, from the outer systems which are now gone, from the ship wombs, now gone. Your empire devastated, but still they sing to your name, to Visionary Destroyer, who will return the heretic. And on Brightest Eye, on Pupil, where, surrounded by Brightest Eye singing to the high heaven, a tongue is eviscerated, made to pay for his betrayal.
Oh.
One known to the Concordance as you could use a humble friend.
Oh, humble friend.
Oh, friend.
Yeah.
Back on
Adam to
Price
your
of
wall.
incompetence.
Adam to your wall, Lieutenant
Yeah, I was
Bard.
just
We
gonna
can all
say,
take
guilt
solace
wall,
in knowing
guilt
it's
wall.
Lucy
Guilt wall.
Bard's fault.
Yep.
back in the chamber, your father leans deeper into camera. Into your mind.
Yeah, right into me.
He leans deeper into your mind.
It's your mind camera.
Yeah.
I finally love you.
Visionary Destroyer. Our fleets cannot escape the Brightest Eye. We have your position, but we cannot send help. You, and you alone, must return your quarry to us. Brave against the SLATE. And save our people. You're kind of time frozen for what it's worth, but what's
I
up?
know, but didn't you say before that there were other ships sent out of the Brightest Eye?
There are,
Okay.
but they themselves are, way out in the other
Just checking.
regions.
Just checking.
Yep. Though if he wants to bring that up, he can try.
Yeah. I will do everything in my power to bring it back to you. Every last ounce of energy I have, I will pour into bringing the heretic home. But for now, I am stranded. Send the other 7 ships. I'll need everything I can.
We shall send help to your position. All efforts are now on yours. 2 of those vessels have been destroyed by the V.A.S.T, and now only 5 remain. They shall make their way to your position. We will aid you, but it shall take some time. Weeks, perhaps. We do not have much. If you can escape on your own, if you can find your way to us before they reach your position, all the better. Our fate is in your hands, son.
No pressure.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Before he does that. Before he leaves.
Postscript.
Yeah, back on. Wait, I forgot something. But we have lost one of our concordants. Where did your brother die?
He died on Haskell. We were separated. Only Pac-Ha the Limb was with me. I saw him briefly before we were all teleported back to the ship and the planet ripped itself in half. I can only assume he died on Haskell.
All of the Eye will mourn his heroism. He was but small, but pink, but weak. And yet, he was of us.
He was brightest eye more than any I've ever seen. The things he did with us would have made you proud. They made me proud. They changed how I saw him, what I believed he could do. I saw him hold the head of his enemy on its own bridge and force an entire crew to their knees.
A conqueror.
A conqueror. A defender no more.
To noble conqueror.
To noble conqueror.
The eye shines bright.
The eye shines bright.
And it goes. You're back. And on your communication systems, as you try to patch into your other communicator, you find yourself instead hailed.
Is Visionary Destroyer still in the room?
Yeah, you're all still in the bridge. He was just sort of in his mind pals.
Yeah.
He's back. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Sherlock.
Solving crime.
Fine, Palace.
Space crime.
Captain.
With the thing. Here we go.
You just patch it through?
Yeah.
Here we go. And he pushes the button. As you push the button, your ship explodes. No.
The end.
Oh, I've made a small mistake with the wiring.
Chubby fingers.
Oh.
As I float off into space.
My dad loves me.
This was the best day of my life.
And you haven't had time to tell the rest of us that Noble's dead.
A face
No.
Oh.
none of you recognize.
Uh-oh.
Except for you. Good idea. As you sort of blink yourself awake. Appears on the screen. This is Gaska Ueno. Physical description?
Physical description. So first, what you see is an eye really close to the screen, and
The eye shines bright.
and she's really close, and she backs away. Am I on? Am I on? Oh, Yeah, hello everyone, my babies, hello. First of all, brightest eye, and in classic Gaska form says, may light forever come out of your eye.
She's trying hard to speak your language.
This is in brightest eye?
Yes.
Amazing.
She's as she backs off, she is a sort of fleshy insectoid. So she has sort of aspects that look a little bit brightest eye, but instead of covered in carapace, she's covered in soft, moldy flesh. Each of the sort of across a good portion of her body are burns. Almost like an intense sort of sunburns that sort of blister and mark her skin. But she's clearly taken a lot of effort towards looking sort of beautiful in a brightest eye kind of way, I assume.
Yeah.
In the same way that you did with the humans with the wig and the stuff.
Exactly.
So she sort of has like carapace.
She's dressed up like the mother?
Yeah, she's dressed up like she has like carapace pieces. Maybe she has a little veil. That would be adorable. Like, I don't know. It's up to you.
Yes, absolutely. She always does her best to assimilate as much as she can. She fails.
Cosplaying as a brightest.
She does try.
It's a cosplayer.
She's cosplaying as brightest eye.
Yeah.
But it's not like, with the good formable plastic or styrofoam. It's like egg cartons and cardboard. That kind of level.
Is this like racially offensive to you?
It would be if it wasn't so charming.
Behind her is another one of her species, very similar in color and appearance, but without the burns. He's clearly male as opposed to female, and he doesn't have any kind of like costuming on.
Okay.
Does he look familiar to me?
No. He looks to her for a second. Gaska, when you said get help, I didn't think you meant the devil.
Everyone can play a game.
This is Bara. He's your brother.
Oh, Bara. Now,
Barre.
And what language are they speaking?
In that, they are speaking Cyryn.
Okay, so none of us.
He speaks it enough that let's just say I think for the sake of just sort of communication throughout the rest of the game, at least on the ship, you've programmed the ship to just auto-translate through this.
Okay.
Cool.
You can enjoy my suit, Cyryn.
Now, Bara, anyone is viable. In my position, I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm desperate, but I am close to being desperate,
Yeah, I know.
I mouthed to the captain, we don't have guns, do we?
In case you're wondering, my reputation might precede me, and yes, I do have little cakes for you. And that is for the purpose that I need you. And I have something for you in return. I know, I see you little ship out there, you little wounded puppy running around in space, and I can help you for a small price.
We do resemble
Question. Is he in view of the view screen?
Yeah.
Because I would want to shove him out of view.
So as Takal walks to just sort of get you out of view.
Gaska Ueno!
Oh, hello!
Cyryn, emissary.
Well, Cyryn, but I'm not going to fault you too
Cyryn,
much.
emissary to the Cyrynscapes. If you wish to converse with this brightest eye vessel, we would be most honored and happy to negotiate terms with you.
He does so he starts speaking perfect Cyryn.
Interesting.
Is our ship translating what he's saying? Okay.
All right, then I'll just lay out the terms. It sounds like you're all on board. Unless...
No.
Excellent. We will love to hear your terms. I have this under control.
Fantastic. And can I assume that you're the captain? Bara, you think that one's the captain?
I do not think that
Of course
one is
not.
the captain.
Me
I would
either.
never be so presumptive.
I just sort of push. I just sort of like point at Visionary
push you in
Destroyer,
front
like
of the captain.
Captain.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
Captain. This
I
is our
speak
captain
on
guy.
behalf of our normal
I too am
captain.
unfamiliar with customs of some alien races. I often find it most helpful to identify the largest creature in the room most capable of killing the others. That one is usually the captain. In our case, Visionary Destroyer.
smart one seems smart.
He is.
Agreed.
I'm sorry, I should really be doing your accent. The smart one seems. No, I can't get it. I'm gonna be Boston. The smart one seems smart.
Much harder ours.
Yeah. The smart one seems smart.
One can expect nothing less from a tall Klee.
Shut up.
Of course, Captain.
And it does. It does a really like wonky kind of bow back.
A jester's
just
bow,
kind of
a
like
fool's
patting
bow.
your shoulder, like, chill out, dude.
Well, now that I know who's who, maybe the captain can weigh in on this.
You want to help us
Absolutely, more than anything.
for price.
That's right.
What can she know?
Now, it's not dangerous. I don't care what anyone says or what you've heard.
I
but
don't particularly care if half of the people on this ship die. What do you want?
Okay. Well, my brother Bara knows. I did not lose, let it be known, a negotiation for something very important. My place at the table was just taken away from me. All right, so let that be known. I would have won.
Yeah, let that be known.
Okay.
Noted.
But an opportunity has presented itself that I might become a very influential specimen in the Cyryn-scape, okay? And that is what I'm after. And I know I could do good. Oh, I have achieved more unity in Cyryn land than anyone else has.
The Ventures could use a leader like our Gasco Wayno.
Here, preach it. Now, what I need from you, though, is that not everyone is of my mind. And we're about to go to a very, what's it called? Market?
The Merchants Hall.
We're about to go to the Merchants Hall, which you might know as a convention where the...
Y'all got a government?
Yes?
Like that.
Yeah, like a party convention. And I'd like to put my foot forward. However, not all Cyryn like to be unified, and I've got some skeletons in the closet. So
We've got some Cyryn skeletons in our closet, actually.
Takai gives you like a little high five.
Just quick extra limbs clicking
Have they
together.
noticed the Karnala?
Gasca.
They must have.
Brings you back for a second.
1 second.
They're not lying. That's the Karnala they're towing.
Oh, I thought that was gone.
Yeah, I thought that was gone too, but it would appear that it was gone to them.
Interesting. So things just got a little more interesting. I'm actually more intrigued.
I am
I like
too.
playing
I'm
with
also a little
fire.
bit more inclined to focus our weapons on their ship. I know they're sitting ducks right now, but I just want to make sure that you're entirely safe.
Wonderful. Don't do it, though. Trust goes both ways, and I'm in a place where I have to offer it first. So what I need from you is, at this convention, all these people are against me. Now, some of them are for me, but I need a security detail.
Oh.
Security?
And Cyryn are terrified of you.
Well, I appreciate that. In return, what do we get?
Your little ship bouncing around from asteroid to asteroid gets 100% Cyryn specialty. Detailed, refined, rebuilt for free. And I'll give you a crew.
They did strip our ship pretty quickly last time.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I guarantee you that there's nothing that we need that we can strip from your vessel. The Cyryns are the most advanced species in the galaxy. Ain't nothing that we need from the brightest eye.
Captain
In fact,
Eleno,
let it be known. And Bara steps forward. He's clearly a little bit like, he heard that and he's not particularly happy. Let it be known, y'all wouldn't have a space program if you didn't shoot us out of the sky, steal our ship, kill our people, and retrofit our technology.
let it be known that we shot you out of the sky, stole your ship, and stole your technology. Before we were even off our own planet.
Wonderful. Boys. That is the past, and we have moved on.
Then, speaking of the future, if I may, I have follow-up questions.
Oh, all right. The smart one has some more questions.
While this is happening, can Taka
Yes.
read her?
Okay, listen.
Yep, do it.
So is that the 14?
This is a listen for perception. Yes, 14.
Captain, if I may be so bold, This
You've been incredibly bold.
the Cyryn is not unknown to me. She is particularly clever, devious, and untrustworthy. If I may speak on your behalf,
Do I hear this?
I would be more. I'm speaking in a.
Yeah, speaking. Well, I'm speaking in brightest eye, which you speak enough to say. You know,
A blessing upon your
a blessing
potato.
upon your potato. Yeah.
Yeah. May light shine from your eyes.
If
I may
Was that
introduce
5?
you.
No lies are streaking off of her. I mean, like, lies are streaking off of her, but she's a Cyryn. She's like constantly lying. But this, she actually seems to be
Like the core of it is
she
true.
for real needs you and for real wants to give you stuff.
She definitely needs us. And
She's
wants
offering
to
you a
pay-
for real
This is a
contract.
pretty legitimate.
If I may
deal, at least in
introduce
her
you,
eyes.
if I may introduce you properly, I will ensure to you that the Cyryn respects and honors the deal in 100% verisimilitude.
I want to listen on him.
How
too.
many? No. How many bodyguards
Well,
do you require for this endeavor?
Let's see. How many can I count right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will do.
And you said we are
Kingdom for my
going
brother.
to a trade conference.
Wait, what happened?
It's yes.
He's
It's
not
as
here.
political as it
I
gets, but yes,
noticed.
our government is built upon business. So yeah, it's definitely business and trade. But I would have so much influence, and my golly, that's what I want.
Does this take place at a Cyryn marketplace?
Well, I mean, it's enormous. So marketplace times 100.
The biggest building on our planet. And we got a lot of big buildings on our planet.
Could you help us sell what remains of the Karnala?
Oh, you want to do business? Absolutely. That is my pride and joy, and I will get you the best price ever. Oh, I'll shake them for all they're worth. Them pockets gonna be empty.
Captain, I imagine we could purchase a bevy of interesting technology at such a marketplace. It would make outfitting the scanners and weapon systems for our return to Brightest Eye space far easier.
Tell me something.
On the
Captain
other
Leo.
hand, and
Can I mute the chat for a second?
We're
it is
muted.
it is
This is going really well.
possible that my shuttle is still functional. It could seat 2, and it has shown the ability to navigate through the SLATE. The decision, as always, is yours.
Because our good pilot's not here.
How long could we get them?
fly,
How long
though.
would it take for us to rebuild this?
You don't do you
For them.
trust him?
Only a couple days. Yeah.
Do you really trust
Hello?
Hans?
Hello? I think I'm. Yeah, okay, thanks.
I am so sorry. It appears I muted you.
We've been having technical difficulties on the ship. As I'm
Well,
sure you can tell.
that seemed deliberate, to be honest.
My apologies.
But I just want to throw this out there. The conference is just a few days, and in that time, we would have the ship done in 2 or 3 days. And it'd be
Captain Ueno, I have a singular need to get back to Brightest Eye space.
I understand.
I don't particularly like being out here. Tell me about Cyryn engine technology.
All right.
Best in the galaxy.
Everything I seem to hear from your species is that
if
you've
I
got
may,
the best in the
Tall
galaxy.
Klee engine technology is clearly the best in the galaxy, though Cyryn engine technology is quite well regarded.
I'd listen to the tall Klee about as far as I could throw him.
Which would be very far. We are quite light.
Your engine might be very well and all, but ours is more durable. It is lighter on the ship as a whole. It doesn't weigh as much.
And it's dedicated to, and because the Cyryn are dedicated to free market enterprise, you have your pick of at least 200 types of engines from at least 100 different providers.
All right.
I would ask them what the cost would be, Captain.
Cost is 0. Is your participation
Cost is us bodyguards.
just
in
us
in
bodyguards.
You want us
helping
to
us
be
at the-
your
at the-
bodyguards for 2 days. And in that time, you'll get my ship outfitted, upgraded, and ready to go back to Brightest Eye space?
Well, yes.
I'll take it on myself personally while you escort my sister.
You get 4 bodyguards. My lead scientist, Hans, will be overseeing the retrofit. If anyone's going to work on my ship, it's going to be him. I don't want any mistakes.
I love a man who counters.
Sounds about right to me. And it ain't like that one's gonna be very good in a fight.
He is so smart, though.
Terribly smart. I imagine he'll be more used to our technicians.
Okay. Well, like I said, I never do business with someone who takes the first offer, so I'll take the second.
Captain, I know you have a deal. I think maybe the first one, the brightest eye is struck with the Cyryn and, well, ever.
All right, well, here's to more open doors. Now, when you get to here, just one thing I forgot to throw in, or maybe I did, but there will be cakes. Oh, there'll be cakes that I baked from my very own space oven.
You can feed them to the tongue first.
Okay. Lucky tongue.
Captain, you should know she's technically incorrect. The last deal that the Brightest Eye and the Cyryn happened to broker was a little over several months ago.
What?
Are we off comms?
Sorry, I just got that. That was good.
I didn't.
Do you want to ask a follow-up question?
Can we mute comms? Are we still on with?
No, you can
Jackson?
end communications. Like, you guys have reached a deal. They're
Okay.
gonna they're gonna tow you all to Cyryn Prime.
Yeah, let's end communications.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I like her.
And it cuts off communications.
I
We're gonna
want
tow him over to
some-
Cyryn Prime.
All right.
I want
She
some
wasn't
cake.
lying, but I don't know if I trust her.
I don't trust her at all. What the hell were you talking about a few months ago?
Ah, the deal that I brokered to escape from your world.
What?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes, the Cyryn and our overall Brightest Eye communication networks are well connected. Did you not know?
No. I'd like to hear the story.
Oh, well, that's
Hey, good idea. Roll resolve. 16.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 1, 6, 7, 8. Crit, 9, 10, minus 1, 9.
Okay. You feel yourself wanting to tell the story and check against it just enough that you are, sort of free to say what you like to say.
I think you know exactly what my story is, visionary destroyer. Branded a heretic, locked away, bravely escaped, mistakenly of course, and now brought to heel.
It's not a story, that's a bunch of bullet points.
I'm afraid I may have lacked some of my characteristic verve. Haha, I'll work on it. Brightest Eye.
I don't like this guy.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Colin seems to be in pain.
The heretic?
Without undoing any of what Nidar's done to him. Hans is a doctor and does believe in mercy as far as it is practical. I would like to do whatever I could to alleviate his discomfort.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. Nidar,
We'll come back to that in a second.
just so I know, we're about to go into something very dangerous and fairly suspect. What did you do to him?
To the tongue. Oh, I just sat in his mind for a little bit, made myself comfortable.
All right. And how much can we trust him? Farther than I can throw him?
I have a
What is
sense
Cyryn?
at this point, but I can. Should I roll for? Should I roll for truth or anything? Is there anything to roll for?
If you want to scan him again, you can try for that.
Yeah.
that's up to you.
Well, I mean, we didn't get anything the first time, right? It was
Yeah, I
just,
mean, you found his loyalty switch
Yeah.
and flipped it,
Yeah,
which
I
should,
feel like-
for all intents and purposes, collar him. As far as you've ever encountered,
Right.
that collars
Captain, I feel like with me camped out in his brain, such as it is, I think we'll be okay.
But we're not giving him a weapon, are we? If he's playing bodyguard.
I'm gonna hand him my burn gun.
Okay.
I will accept
He
the
steps over, pulls a sort of a little large for you, frankly. To him, it's a pistol. To you, it's a shotgun.
Maybe the paralysis gun would be better.
No, it's all right.
I am humbled by this gift, oh brightest eye. I shall honor it, treasure it, and use it only at your discretion, oh my captain. The eye shines bright.
No, it's okay. You understand, heretic, that you won't be freed until I'm dead.
May the day never arrive, oh brightest eye.
If you shoot me now, there's no reason for any member of this crew to stay loyal to the brightest eye. They may take you to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, for all I know. They may never go home. They may all want to see every planet in the system destroyed by the SLATE. You could end this right now.
Taka's glaring at you really hard.
There are other planets with trees.
Then, Captain, if you believe your crew to be filled with such traitors, I would recommend their immediate execution. Your crew should be 100% on your side at all times. The eye shines bright.
Taka just starts laughing.
I love the idea that you're finishing every single sentence with the eye sign right now.
Taka starts laughing because she's not sure what else to do, and is just.
I'll take the gun back.
Okay.
Of course.
Heretic, there's one thing I'd like you to know. That although I appreciate your ridiculous displays,
Of course.
I've never seen use for the blindly loyal. I've always wanted a crew that had ambition. It seems to get more done. I wonder what yours is. What do you want?
I want only to serve the brightest eye in all forms.
Listen, listen.
It is absolutely a ridiculous statement.
Good idea. Roll 16 for resolve check. Taka, roll 14 for perception. And just so you get a metric of what I'm doing here, Colin, you are essentially right now mind controlled to the tune of 12. You have to beat 12 to even get out of this context. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So like at 9, you were able to kind of like crack around this thing because that's like almost an outstanding success. At something above 12, you're looking at something a little high, or at something around 12, you're looking at being able to sort of like engage your own wants and needs. Past 12, you have sort of thought freedom. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Or like actionable freedom.
I write a big 12 down in the corner of my paper.
There you go.
This time it was a 7.
Okay.
And I got 11.
He does want that, weirdly.
I'm just slightly disgusted.
So am I. All right.
I do understand your point, however, Captain. Perhaps you do not know me as well as you should. You call me heretic, far lesser of my names. You should know me as this might be a good idea. Foremost of special circumstances, master of communication, foremost envoy of the brightest eye. If you think I am but a puppet or tool of your crew, you are misusing my abilities.
Far be it from me to be the person to misuse one's abilities. I think we'll put you to fairly good use. Good idea.
I'm humbled and honored.
Don't be.
Your ship shudders as the docking claws of the Argonine, which is the name of Goska's ship, locks onto yours and jets off at crossing speed for Cyryn Prime.
Cool. Hans, feel free to patch any of his wounds. Don't let me get in your way at this point.
It doesn't really appear he has many wounds.
Yeah, I was looking for more like the equivalent of like space Valium or something that's not going to make him feel so, stressed out fighting himself.
Split personality.
Sure, Hans. Roll for pharmacology.
Roll for space Valium.
Something that'll give me a little bit more sense of self, I think, would be nice.
20
more,
please.
20?
Yes.
A little more sense of self, a little bit more ability to kind of gather my thoughts, right? That's what we're going for?
12.
Yeah. What's that?
12.
So you're looking to do, just to be clear, more of a reinforcing of the sort of sense of calm and natural purpose, and trying to pull away from his conflicted interests.
Yeah, I'm going to be totally honest. Intellectually, what I'm looking to do is not stop anything that Ray did, but alleviate pain. But right now, I'm probably more concerned with his pain. Mm-hmm. He seems to be suffering.
Right.
I am.
He just want drugs, man.
So he walks over to you with a syringe. You manage to pop. You basically pull out your sort of chemistry set, which is essentially a handheld, it's
kind of awesome.
Replication device. You put together a various series of chemical coordinates, pop it in. It manufactures the thing, pops out a vial. That vial should operate essentially as a mood relaxer, as a muscle relaxant, and as a sort of more it's like a sedative, but the most mild of sedatives. The kind of sedative one could walk around and still behave like a normal person.
Operate heavy machinery.
Yeah, that kind of thing. A sedative that won't destroy your ability to talk and walk.
And if we're on our way, I'm gonna try to grab a moment alone with Nidar.
Okay, so you allow him to inject you?
I don't believe we've met.
As he walks over to you.
We have met. You and your friends tried to kill me, as well as my friends.
Well, as long as it's one's friends that are trying to kill one, I suppose that is a best case scenario.
A strange kind of logic.
Hans, I believe?
That is correct. Hansarald Nirun is my full name.
Hansarald Nirun. A pleasure.
Somehow, I doubt that.
Juice me?
Yeah.
You juice him?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. This is going to give you a composure boost.
Composure boost.
We're going to give you a +3 composure boost for the rest of the game.
Great.
Giving you a general little bit of chill to everything.
Just a little bit of...
It is going to pull down your subterfuge by 1.
Not a sneaky dude. Time, flat circle.
All right. And then you wanted to grab a moment with Nidar alone?
Yeah.
Okay. So the ship is on its way. The mine doesn't need to be powered, so the mine can kind of... You guys want to leave the bridge?
Sure, yeah. Or, it's I imagine it as one of those surreptitious,
You're in a Jeffries too.
Come here.
If people leave a room or something, grabbing a moment, where you can kind of pull him aside in his brain jar.
Yeah, well, actually, since Nidar also oversees engineering, I wouldn't mind if you guys went down and started to take a look at the ship systems and see what you could patch up and get going.
Sure, absolutely.
Just at least start stabilizing things and get it ready for the Cyryn.
Brain friend, could I speak with you for a moment?
Yes, squishy friend. What's going on, Hans?
How do you feel about what just happened back there?
Are we talking about your conversation with the tongue, or are we talking about the deal with the Cyryn?
The tongue. I knew him only briefly. And he seemed in no way a pleasant person. And it is strange. I have killed far many more people in the service of the captain, done far worse to a far greater number, and yet something about seeing someone stripped of their free will, it is oddly affecting.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Hans. I think what we're seeing right now, my sense, is a being who has no choice. He is stuck with us for now.
It disgusts me.
Well, I think he's trying to survive. I think he is just trying to get through the day to see another day.
Nidar, are you okay?
I don't know yet. I hope I will be. But I'm not able to tell at this moment.
What happened to you in the archives? All I felt was a scream of anguish and sorrow, like mourning, but so immediate, so primal.
Well, that's exactly what happened.
Nidar raises his voice.
His telepathic voice?
Yeah, the room feels a little weird for a second.
Did the rest of us know, or just the two
No.
of them? Okay.
It was a wave of pain. It was a wave of anger. You felt what I felt. I could not help but put it out there. It was overwhelming, something I'd never experienced before. I don't know exactly what I saw, but it will stick with me. It has changed me. It has changed me perhaps forever.
We are doing the right thing, Nidar. There is no choice. There has never been a choice.
You might be right about that. But you may be wrong. We shall see.
As we pull away from that scene, the Screaming Valor approaches the Cyryn homeworld, known to the Cyryn simply as Prime. You can see why so many want to leave, why a diaspora of Cyryn has covered the galaxy like a swarm of ants. The world appears to be stripped of natural life in a mass planet-wide industrialization. The dimmed sun, hit once by the SLATE many thousands of years ago, makes for little light, but it probably couldn't pierce the constant rainstorms anyway. In the main city, which you are hovering down above as you land down on the planet, named Jackson, a huge plate divides the city into upper and lower tiers. On further inspection, it seems that the bottom half has several more tiers installed recently. There are several columns and transportation tubes leading up from the lower tier to the top and down from the upper tier to the bottom. It's a feat of engineering impressive even by brightest eye standards, though not nearly as beautiful or harmonious. Different pieces seem to have been designed with entirely different aesthetics, the result of corporate contracting over thousands of years. Neon, colors, gray, steel, stone, metal. It sort of changes from block to block.
Over gentrified.
Too many developers coming in.
It's the Prague of
Bless you.
space.
The Screaming Valor lands at the main at what looks like the main spaceport, which has filled itself with smaller Cyryn vessels. As the ship lands, a good deal of Brightest Eye of Cyryn move away from the ship, giving it wide berth to land. This is your ship as well as the Carnala, which itself is surrounded by the Corsairs. As each of them land, so too does Gaska's ship, the Argonine, which lands itself on a gold-plated transport area above yours. She's essentially like you look up at her ship as you land. A walk hatch comes down. Gaska and Bara step out from there. As presumably you four dismount the ship and Hans stays behind with the repair crews.
Yeah.
Before I left the ship, sometime in transit,
Yeah.
are there Brightest Eye jumpsuits or like clothing options on a Brightest Eye ship?
Oh yeah, I wrecked your coat, didn't I?
Change your outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are essentially. I mean, it's funny.
Well, there's the stores of the Carnal.
There are the stores of the Carnala.
But they were like scrap pirate.
So you could grab kind of
clothes.
Corsair uniforms, which are like leather and scrappy and kind of more like that.
Yeah.
Or you can,
They really
or
sucked
like
already
every vessel like this has a little place for a tongue. It's basically a little like cabinet that you're kept in.
Oh, I have a house.
Yeah,
I
you
have
have
a
a little
box.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, you have a little cabinet.
Tiny house.
So in that cabinet, there would be what is essentially a tongue suit, which is a red and white
Yeah.
suit with piping and
Super standard, classic
tongue stuff. It's
Probably
got
pretty
the
boring.
Brightest Eye symbol right in the middle, like huge, like it was like a T-shirt, right?
I put it on.
Oh. Do you keep any of your previous outfit? Because I blew a hole in your jacket.
It's true, my
Sorry.
jacket is ruined. I carefully take off every belt, fold them, and put them in a drawer. And
I have friend belts.
I put on the Brightest Eye jumpsuit.
Wow. He is really trying to fit in.
It just feels right.
Is there like a sparkly magical girl transformation? Is that
Yeah,
what's
It's like really sad. It's like, "Ooh, bing.
It's the saddest Bing ever.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
Yeah,
Gaska and Bara step off the gangplank as you exit your vessel as well.
What Gaska has in her hands are merch bags, and it's all Cyryn Prime. I was here type of stuff, and it's all collector's items. So it's like, and don't forget, each one of you has a different pin, and each pin there are 1,000 original pins, so you can collect all of them or purchase them. And here's a shirt. It says heart, the Cyryn version of a heart, Cyryn, and a little statue, and each one of you has a different type of Cyryn. So here's one that looks like me, and then this one looks more like a blob, and yours looks like a canoe, and she just keeps pulling stuff out in each one
Cyryn
of
pop
them.
figures, like it's like a whole thing.
Are the shirts all like extra larges? Like they're not the right sizes?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Mine's a women's small.
Yeah,
exactly.
they're not well thought out.
I put that shirt on so fast.
Okay, Taka gives good idea her pin.
Nice.
So
You
he
know, you
has
have two
another
pins.
pin.
Excellent. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Here
Captain Nueno.
you can have.
Are these meant to be our uniforms?
You can. They're gifts, so you can do with them as you please. If I'll be perfectly candid, I'd love it if at least a couple of you would keep Brightest Eye uniforms on. We're trying to make a show here, and you being all scary Brightest Eye people
I'm
would
not
be the best.
partial towards wearing clothing. I think I'll refrain.
Captain, I shall wear the clothes for all of us.
He puts all the t-shirts on.
Taka just hands you the entire bag now.
He puts all the t-shirts on.
You can also have my bag.
Bara looks at you with a bit of suspicion. Gaska, you sure this is a
You're
good
a brain
idea?
in a jar,
What
so
do you-
whatever.
He could have like a little decorative statue on top of the
And
jar.
his eyes kind of scan the port, the dudes with the wands and the bag check guys, and everybody is eyes on Max. Like Visionary Destroyer has just made sort of a scene. It's quiet everywhere.
Bara, what you don't understand is that I, in one fell swoop, have reduced Brightest Eye mercenaries into tourists. Now, how intimidating is that?
Gaska, I should have stopped underestimating you when we were born. I apologize. Please continue.
And I like eyes being on me. You know I do.
I'm more worried about the ones without eyes. Kind of like he eyes Hans as Hans walks. I'm sorry, Nidar as Nidar floats past.
It's true, you don't have eyes.
No eyes.
I have eyes to make up for you.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yes, you have enough for all of us.
So, from the distance, you hear sort of big horns. There's a large building in the distance, tall and imposing, a sort of a pyramid that then inverts on top of itself, that then inverts on top of itself, that inverts on top of itself, heading deeper and deeper and deeper into the sky. This is the Cyryn Merchants Hall, and it is where you all are headed. You step onto the Cyryn transports, which are themselves essentially people movers. They are a series of sort of automated walkways that you step onto that get faster and faster and faster the more that you step on them, and less less fast the more that you step off of them. Credit to Isaac Asimov. And as you sort of get onto these things and head across the city, you find yourself whirring past all kinds of neon and craziness.
Are we traveling with Gaska?
Yeah, Gaska's traveling at the head of this entourage, and everywhere she goes, eyes turn.
And I am staying super close to this dude, which I assume is what,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah, the captain. It is a good idea.
It is a good idea.
Might be a good
Captain, you should absolutely have noticed by now that all eyes are upon us. The question might be, why 4 Brightest Eye mercenaries would be needed to keep one Cyryn safe?
You're the one who said you knew her.
What are we
And I would be
protecting her
happy to
from?
explain if anyone bothered to ask me.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Can I, Nidar, I'm gonna kind of sidebar. Nidar,
Yes, Captain.
link us up. I don't want our new boss to hear what we've got to say.
Now the whole team?
Yeah.
Yes. Can I
Okay.
do that?
Oh, I do love to be included.
Yeah, actually, we should include Hans. It should be everyone.
Okay.
Um,
Then Nidar, go ahead and roll for this is telepathy speech, which is 19.
19.
So while Gaska's pointing out like her stomping grounds, I'm like, and this was where I was actually proposed to, and I turned him down, and this, and like all that stuff, and
We're all just like,
smiling and nodding, but secretly having your own conversation.
yeah.
sounds interesting.
I'm listening.
It's like that scene in Last Action Hero when he just like puts on the tape when he's talking to his wife and he just like leaves the phone. That's it.
I rolled an 8.
That's good. You've got it.
Okay.
So it's like a mini concordance. Just us.
Yeah. Just pulls you together through Nidar. You have
Alright.
you don't have long, but you can do this for a period of time.
Okay.
All right.
What a unique sensation.
Good idea.
Of
What have you got?
course, Gaska had some encounter with us aboard my hateful time upon the Pac-Ha vessel. She is a negotiator, a power player, a influence maker within the Cyryn homeworlds. She is also someone of relative influence, in fact, perhaps the most single entity of influence within their empire, at least until she received the black eye upon Diaike for her failure to produce the deal.
Do we know what DIAK is?
We have a vague idea, maybe?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I don't particularly care what the IAK is. What was the deal?
Oh, of course. My apprehension. Or at least the details within the slate itself. DIK houses a host of knowledge. And the Cyryn and the Cyryn and the Pac-Ha were negotiating for the further advancement of both of their societies.
And they know what you're capable of?
They know that there is a being called the Heretic that is of interest, of course.
But they don't know that's you.
I cleverly disguised myself as a DIEK during that encounter. My genetics were hidden. They have no idea it was me.
But do your Pac-Ha friends know?
Well, of course. They are my friends, after all.
Well, they're not here anymore, so that's not particularly important. Make no mention of it. Good idea.
Of course.
I don't need any of the Cyryn on our backs while we're getting this done. Hans,
Yes, Captain.
keep an eye out. I don't particularly trust them, and I assume neither do you. You know more about the Cyryn than I do.
I have zero politics. It's never even occurred to me to think about it.
Let it occur to you now. Keep an eye out. I don't want any sabotage on my ship.
And before we cut off, I just want to say to him, stay close to me, I'll keep you safe.
Excellent.
Hey, hey.
Oh, what?
And Boris was standing in front of you.
Yeah.
Destroyer. Look, listen to me. There's some things you should know before you step inside. Gaska's not exactly the most popular Cyryn around anymore.
Yet.
Means we're gonna have a little bit of trouble here. You're gonna have to worry about the Galan sisters. Amrus, he won't probably give you too much trouble, but he might have that disappointed guilt trip look. He's, I don't think Valpar leaves his house much anymore, and, Pendrae's gonna definitely be there. She's the worst. Pendrae's your, let's say, nemesis.
Okay.
For most Cyryn negotiating tactics. She runs her own organization, which is known as Ilgnil. And Ilgnil is a sort of mega conglomerate. As you go through these streets, you'll see that name over and over again. Ilgnil.
A Zaibatsu.
It is a Zaibatsu, correct. Meanwhile, just for your reference, when he refers to the Galan sisters,
Okay.
they are investors of yours who are not particularly happy with how everything has gone. You've not yet seen them. Amrus refers to Amrus Solharn Nabarine, who's a Gaska investor as well, and an old friend and mentor of yours. He's kind of a pushover, though. He's kind of a nice dude, all things considered. So he might ultimately not have a problem with your failure as long as you can pick it up. And lastly, we talked about Valpar, who doesn't leave his house anymore. Valpar is one of your investors who threw everything he had in with you and is probably in about as much mortal danger as you are, if not more. His corporation's already gone through 3 hostile takeovers since you failed the negotiations. He's the sort of spear point at which a lot of your shit is getting messed with.
How long ago did that happen?
About 2 weeks.
Oh man, okay.
Mortal danger.
Noted. Not new to me.
Yeah, right? You're like, why so worried?
Like, that's our normal state of
He looks at you.
existence.
Everything tries to kill me. It's fine.
Even me.
I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna let you deal with this. God knows my words have never got us in or out of anything. And my fists aren't gonna handle this any better than this guy is, so good luck to you, Gaska. I'm gonna stay out here. And say good luck.
Love you, baby.
Love you, baby. And he gestures to you as you guys step off of the walkways towards a large door frame that sits at the base of this pyramid.
Is Good Idea translating for us now since we're off the ship?
So, great question. Everywhere on Prime, literally everywhere, there are little tiny translators for all languages. This is essentially to make commerce incredibly simple. So they are on the sides of every building, they're on the handrails of your walkways, they're on your pins, they're everywhere.
It's like a TARDIS is following us,
Yes,
essentially.
exactly.
Okay.
So that everywhere you go, you have a general language mastery because the Cyryn really never want to have a language barrier towards proper
Business.
negotiation.
Money, yeah.
The Cyryn way.
Business.
gonna
You
take
will
some of
like
your
business. It's the Pac-Ha way.
If you think
I mean,
all I'm
the
good for is
Cyryn way.
translation, you don't know how to use a tongue.
Oh
I
my.
like the number of sentences of yours that end just wrong.
That's why we're happy Colin's with us today.
The doors open, you make it inside, and it's well lit for once. So well lit that you can see how gaudy it is. The place is plated wall to wall riches and portraits of the Cyryn's greatest traders. There's a big open spot on the wall where there was supposed to be a portrait of you by now. It's not there.
All right, enough.
As you enter the hall, two larger Cyryn, both of them Cyryn Prime, so the same kind of insectoid fleshy dudes, step up to you. Both of them are kind of jacked. They work out. They're in sort of official uniforms. There isn't much by way of official uniforms on Cyryn Prime since everything's decentralized. These guys work literally for this building. They're like building security. They're tower security. They step up. And the first thing they do is look at you. The second thing they do is look at them. They're on payroll.
Are you kidding me? Have I ever not paid anyone?
We gotta ask.
Yes, they're on payroll. Maurice?
I'll need to see him disarmed.
All right, Maurice. What am I going to have to do to make that not happen?
Roll. Gaska, this is a negotiation. 24, please.
3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12, and then 6.
24. Ooh.
Oh, I love rolling dice so much.
This is your first roll today, isn't it?
It's my first roll today.
Go dice, go.
V.A.S.T, it's not just talking.
And last time I was on, I had purchased like a shit ton of Game Science D10s, and they didn't come in. They came in like literally the next day.
no.
So
no.
this is my first time to roll with all the
Juice! Yeah, bring it under!
Rolling with all the juice.
Okay. And zeros count for 2, right?
Yep, zeros count as 2.
They
They're
roll with all
crits.
the
One's
juice.
a negative one.
And one's count as negative 1.
Okay.
We need our guns. I have so many guns now.
Oh, let's just.
That's okay.
Excuse me.
If this doesn't pan out, I promise to make sure you keep your guns.
Don't worry, Captain.
Oh my God.
Commandant? Captain?
Okay.
You're sort of an admiral now.
I rolled 10.
Wow,
Well,
nice.
I rolled 10 10s, but I rolled
No,
1
wait.
1, so that's 9.
Wait, 10 tens.
No, sorry. I rolled 10 successes and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them are
So it's an
crits.
18.
Wow. Wow.
So 18, but
18.
minus 1. Minus.
Oh, minus
17.
1. Oh, well.
That's still
17.
one of our. That's like an insanely high success because 15 is basically the
Well, does
ceiling
that
for what
mean
I
they
call like
get
wonder
first
rolls.
roll?
Which are basically like you just did something.
They empty
insane.
their pockets and just throw their
Do
money
they give
at
it?
you.
No. Do they give us their guns?
Yeah.
get more guns?
What they do is
I'll say, Maurice, you know my position here. That fucking little blank piece of wall should be me. It should be Gaska up there. And you know that all I have to do is click my fingers today and have a little luck work my way, which I'm due for some luck, and that painting's going up.
don't I know it? You know I believed in you since you were just a single ship trader.
I know.
I do wish you'd accept my proposal, but I understand why you didn't. You can proceed through, and I'll be proud to see your your face on the wall of merchants.
I'll always remember what you said outside of the tickled limb, that bar.
And Sky's like, wait, what?
A tickled limb. Oh yeah, you hear that? It's the name of our bar. But you know, my first priority is business. I couldn't give you what you needed.
I know. I got cats now. Space cats. They keep me company.
Oh, don't cry. Oh, Maurice, don't cry.
No, I told her. I just need them. Y'all proceed. And he kind of like walks over to the side, allowing you to proceed.
What he means is
with
like he
all
has
of your
several
weapons.
Kaikirai slaves that he just keeps in his house.
Right,
And also several space cats.
Yeah,
and they're
also
all
space
friends.
cats. Yeah. Oh, Maurice, the Ballad of Gascon Maurice.
And as you proceed into the merchant's hall, you enter the conversation, which is not a conversation. It is yelling and angry screaming. There are loud voices coming from either side of a hall that is hundreds of feet high, sort of lined with gold seats, basically, all around, and podiums all around. It is a chaotic mess of people yelling at each other. Think like being on the floor of Wall Street, right? Like being on like a trading floor, except infinitely larger. And a few of people have microphones. And those people are shouting at each other over this. Those people are exactly who we've already introduced. Up on one of the major microphones, you'll see Pendre Ilgrinil Platino. Pendre immediately fills you with an enormous amount of hatred. And she is sort of holding court over all of this. Over on a couple of other sides, you see the Galan sisters sharing a single microphone. You see Cyryn Valper with his head in his hands. He does not have a microphone. And Omra Sahar Nabarine is sitting back in a chair being fed grapes by two other younger Cyryn.
Space grapes.
Space grapes, yeah. As with everything on Prime, it's just a human thing plus the word space. Pendre is in the middle of giving a speech. I told each of you not to throw your lot in with Gasca Bueno. She who was too afraid even to come here before this body to show you that she does not have your best interest at heart.
Hi, Pendre.
And the whole room silences as every eye goes to you and to all of you. You could hear a pin drop in here.
I pee myself.
My goodness. Casca.
Yeah. Well, don't stop your rioting speech on account of little old me.
Oh, but I don't need to give a speech anymore. Look, y'all. Look who she's brought to bear. Savages. That's not a good look on you, Gasca. Not a good look at all.
I beg to differ. This is an excellent look on me, just like my last wig was an excellent look on me. I'd love for all y'all to look at your faces right now in the mirror. And just how yellow-bellied can you be? Scared, terrified, shocked, surprised. Ooh, Gasca made a deal with someone other than a Cyryn. Someone other than the DIK. Oh, does she still have it? Yes, she does.
Go ahead and roll 21. This is your diplomacy presence roll.
Y'all look real scary now.
Oh.
Ooh.
Actually, towards that point, Visionary Destroyer.
Should I intimidate?
Yes. Please roll your intimidation.
Can the rest of us roll intimidation
Yep.
also?
I don't know if I have it.
No, let's just have you and Taka do it, because the two of you are really the ones with it.
Okay.
That's 12 for Destroyer, and...
not bad.
Taka...
I haven't rolled this one yet. I don't think.
I got an 11.
Okay. Well, then that's going to give her 4 points to play with.
Oh.
8.
That's exactly how many dice are in my
Our
hand.
music had died.
What was that? You can hear a pin drop.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
And then
3.
I am an idiot.
Only 3.
11.
11 and
Minor
11
success, though.
and...
3.
Okay, so you're not going to add much to the roll, but you're going to add 4 to her 11, which is going to give you a 15, which is a wonder roll. And you were rolling against a 12 anyway, so
Okay.
looking good on you. There's a long pause. And Pendray slowly smiles. Why, Gaska? It certainly is a pleasure to have you back in the Hall of Merchants.
Now there's that gentility that I'm used to.
All right, everybody, let's proceed. Let's go. Forget that there's some savages in the hallway. They're just with Gaska. And an area is kind of opened up for you as you walk up towards your podium. As you do, you're approached by the Galen sisters.
Oh.
They sort of step up to you on either side. The Galen sisters are not from here. They are not Cyryn Prime. They are from an old icy world, and as a result, have fur all over them.
Okay.
They have a couple more eyes as well. But they are, like most Cyryn, relatively thin and kind of gangly. Step up to you, both of them essentially flanking you on either side, but giving a lot of space as a result of these two.
Interesting. Galen 1 and Galen 2. So nice to see you.
Alo looks at you angry. It is not nice to see you. I'm afraid things have not been quite so easy in our marketplace since last you arrived here. And the other one, Zala, looks at you. Especially not since our entire pirate fleet found itself uncoordinated. The Corsairs have been less than useful lately. We're still not entirely certain what happened to our vessels. I would appreciate it if you would be able to lend us a little bit of fleet support if this goes your way.
Do we just look at each other like...
Ladies, there's nothing to worry about. You know what I always say. Second place just makes me fight harder.
And both of them immediately pull 2 pistols. And they put them up, and this is not like a threat to you, it's just a show of force.
Dude.
I grab one of them by the throat.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna pull.
To you, it's just
I'm pulling my biggest gun. Oh my god. I'm pulling my biggest gun, which I believe is the Pac-Ha multi-weapon thing.
What was that?
I said I'm pulling my biggest gun, which I believe is the Pac-Ha multi-weapon.
Yep. I'm gonna, by the way, give you that.
And
I stole the numbers from college.
Good. I'm just grabbing it from you here.
Was that in their merch bag too?
Yes.
Is the merch bag like Rake's box? It's just like infinite.
I've got
whatever you like out.
You guys gave me the birch bags.
If you have any good ideas for the merch bag, obviously always use them. But so you grab it by the throat.
Oh yeah.
Shove them up against the wall.
No, just lift up in front of myself.
Okay.
I slide
And
right into the spot.
I pull a gun
Okay.
on the other one.
Okay. Guns up. They all immediately they both get their guns out as well.
When dealing with both the brightest eye and such a wonderful and noble negotiator as Gaska, one should express oneself with more dignity and decorum. One would know better than to pull guns upon such an august company and would think better of it in the future.
Good idea. Please roll for your worm tongue. That's 24. And you are going to add, we're just going to standardize that 11 intimidation roll for the rest of this to save ourselves some time. You rolled an 11 for intimidation.
Oh, that I've held it.
Yes,
that I'm
you're going to
always-
hold that intimidation for this
You're
situation.
always
to make
the
things
exact
simple.
amount
Got
of.
it, yeah.
So we're going to add 4 auto successes to Colin's worm tongue here.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Plus 4.
Plus 4.
Wow.
I'm really into this.
They drop their guns. Yes, of course. Gaskeb. Your friends are quite nice.
That's right.
Take their guns.
They sure are.
Yeah, can we take their guns?
Sure.
Yeah.
More guns?
Ooh.
Now what I need from you is to know that your backers have my back.
Oh.
And I need your constituents to, they're voting, right? Or I need, they need to be voting for Gasca Ueno, because is there a god that we worship? Let's name him.
Dollar bill.
Sure. Well, this will be easy. Just call him Cyros. And Cyros is in fact the god of money, gold, and merchandising.
Yes.
He looks like a little Monopoly guy.
Generally, you call your money capital, but back in the ancient days when you were a one-planet species, your money was known as Cyros.
Okay. Well, Cyryn says my witness, my face is going to be plastered, my burnt, ugly face is going to be plastered all over that blank space in that wall.
You got our support. Damn it.
Now smile a little. It makes you a little nicer to look at.
We don't smile.
All right. Well, we can win some of the fights.
Come on, sister. And they step out.
As they
Guys,
leave,
that was amazing!
Captain,
I say,
please do let our employer know that there have been some wonderful advancements in the field of skin graft technology.
This comes over your comms.
right.
Well, I mean,
and we'll
I
be
assume
coming back.
telepathically.
Oh no,
because-
the link is no longer
then
applying, but you can.
Oh, so we have open comms? Can I hear?
we've got comms.
And we'll come
didn't
back
have
to you
before, we
in a
definitely
bit,
stole
but
it from Cyryn.
I just want to get through this.
Just as they leave, I kind of, under my breath, whisper, good luck repairing the Corsairs.
And it looks at you. Thanks. And Nala and sorry, let me make sure I have their names correct. Elo and Zala walk away, heading back to their people, exhaling huge, shedding a little bit of fur as they do.
Oh, we scared the fur out of him.
Takaz laughing in the background.
The fur off of them.
Guys, just keep it up. You've just earned yourself a space toaster oven on your ship.
Yeah.
Space
As
toast.
What is toast?
You will love it. It's amazing.
As you step up to the plate with Cyryn Valper is there near your area. He's the dude with his head in his hands. He sort of looks up at you. Oh God, Cyros, thank God you're here. This is not a good situation. I have already been offered, simply by entering here, 4 different contracts for hostile takeover of not simply my organization, but half of your organization and part of their organization. And I gotta tell you, some of these offers, they're a little violent, and I am not very much a fan of this. By the way, he's also an off-world Cyryn. His people do a lot of like cybernetic upgrading, so he's kind of small. He's got a lot of like little cyber pieces. One of his eyes is like a lens. He's a little twitchy.
Every one of y'all laugh real hard. Keep talking. Now give him a hug. Give him a hug real quick.
Whoa, no hugs.
Valper, trust me. Okay, give him a hug.
He gives you a hug.
We're acting like we're all friends here, okay? Okay, you're friends with the brightest side. Clap him on the back. Give him a smile.
He claps him on the back.
Now call him his nickname, which is Valpo.
Valpo.
Valpo,
How
it's a
we
pleasure
love
to
you.
Finally make your acquaintance.
That's my name. What's going on?
We're making a show. All eyes are on us. Don't even worry about it. We want you to seem like you're friends with the brightest eye.
Oh,
Valpo, all of your vast resources and friendship upon the brightest eye, for us and forever. We shall always watch you, our friend, Valpo. Valpo.
well, I appreciate it. Gotta be honest, this whole situation is a little unnerving, but I think I'm just gonna sit here and let you do your business, yeah?
Look, Valpar, if it was a real hostile, if it was a real hostile contract, you'd be dead by now. Contracts don't come that hostile if they're contracts. They're just there to scare you.
Yeah, all right, Gaskin. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, don't be so nervous. We got you, boy.
Okay. And from across the hall, you hear a voice. Kaska! It's Amra Sahar Nabarin, the dude in the chair. His chair is now floating over the area, headed towards you.
Hey.
Fellow floater.
There are two, fellow floater. There are two little side discs on it, upon which the two young Cyryn who are feeding him also float. They're having kind of a hard time standing.
Hey.
Gaska,
Amras.
what is it that you have brought us here? These beautiful specimens. My God.
Oh, they are working. Can I tell you that? Amras, it's good to see you. Have you lost weight?
No. He's quite obese and seems proud of it. He bites as he does and floats essentially past Gaska and right up to you, lifting out a hand to Visionary Destroyer. My name is Amra Salhan Nabarin, and you have the great honor to be meeting me. I would very much like to meet you, Mr.
I am Visionary Destroyer, captain of the Screaming Valor. I have painted my ship with the blood of thousands.
And I have painted my ship with the finest gold. We will certainly get on. And he slaps your hand. Or your claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, your pincer.
Yeah, your pincher.
Do
He
you
looks at
want
you.
me to shoot him?
I must be honest, Gaska.
Please do.
I am very taken by this intimidating display, but you must know that your cause is already lost. We have been talking for quite some time, as you have been hiring these beautiful brightest eye, and the Yoganil Zaibatsu has made quite a bit of a stir. Made some excellent offers towards most of our freelance captains, and we believe that we have a competitive offer to bring back to the Diakos in lieu of your failure to...
Excuse me? Did you call that a failure?
Why, it was a failure, was it not?
Absolutely, it was not. You never heard the full story. Can
And-
a gambler win if she can't sit at the fucking table?
I understand that you were at the table, but it was the display by your first officer that seemed to get you away from that fucking table.
That's right. That was my first officer. I never even got the chance. They locked me up faster than I could explain myself. And guess what happened to that guy? Dead.
Good. I'm glad you still know how to clean up your messes. And he looks to you. You, captain of the Valor Screamer. I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. Your first officer does something you don't like. Is it his fault or is it your fault?
Well, it's never happened. As a matter of fact, this is my first officer, Nidar the Mind. Would you like to see a little trick?
Why, I would love to. And he pushes past Gaska.
What should we do here?
Not a moment, if you will, Amras? A moment, if you will, Mr. Amras. and then you will see something absolutely amazing.
I don't got all day, but for you, I've got a moment.
So what should we do?
Can we psychically link for one moment?
Yes. We're talking like
Psychically linked.
Right.
Badoink.
hypnosis.
Rewrite every bit of that man. I want off this planet as fast as I can be, and I want him agreeing with this harlequin creature as quickly as he possibly will.
I find this planet unbearable to my senses.
This planet sucks.
Let's get the hell off.
I rather enjoy the spirit of conversation.
You're weird.
All right, you want to?
I'm a weirdo.
Let's roll.
Yeah, all right, go for it. This is a. You want to straight up like wipe this dude's brain and reprogram it?
I want him just on page with gas.
Got it. Mind control. 19.
19.
Burge.
Oh wait, I'll hold that for a minute.
And maybe leave like the memory of seeing really awesome fireworks in his brain or something.
Beat a 9.
I'm picturing my old crew being like, let's have a chat with him and let's really understand his motivations and his friendships. And
it tells you.
And you guys are just like, let's just fucking mind wipe that dude. Whew. Eye shines bright.
Wait, 1, 2, 3. No, you didn't. There's a crit miss in there.
Don't say it unless you mean it, Colin.
So it's like, it's 9.
What do I even mean anymore?
So it's 7, that's 10. Yeah, and then a crit miss. So it's a 9. Yeah.
9.
9?
9, exactly, yep.
Well, ties go to defenders.
We got to remember to put willpower in this shit. We haven't been putting willpower.
As he reaches out, the guy sits back and he starts to laugh. Is that the trick?
No, the trick is where I carry you on my back for the rest of the night.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, this floating apparatus doesn't seem particularly showy. How would you rather have a mount?
Why, I never.
He is a particularly excellent mount.
I'm sure he is. Anybody looks at Goska. But his brain
Take exception to that.
just tried to mess with my mind.
What a fun trick, Amras.
I think not. And he looks over to Pendre. Pendre! And Pendre looks down. Why, yes, Amras. Pendre goes, and Amras looks up. The Salhaza Batsu would hereby like to declare a merger in perpetuity with the Ilganil. We are separating all ties with the failed traitor known as Gascoigne, and we would like to move to expel these savages from our midst. All those opposed, please say aye.
Now, 1 second here.
All those opposed, say nay. All those in favor say aye, all those opposed say nay, I suppose.
Rhubarb,
I fire my gun in the sky.
Suddenly in the middle of the hall, a gun goes off. All eyes go to the gun.
People of this marketplace, masters of commerce and capitalism,
I don't know what he's doing.
men, women, things, and it's that run this galaxy, would you be so swayed by one man's opinion? Would you think that the actions of one noble, amazing merchant should be determined by merely a section of the concept? Let me ask you this, because this is not some mere vote. This is the future of your people. This is profit, and you are doing profit in front of the brightest eye, which means that it can only be the truly best. This Gasca Ueno is no mere merchant. She was double-crossed by her XO and XO that she dealt with viciously, brutally. And in fact, if you think that she wouldn't do that to the same to anyone who betrayed her, you need only look to us. Because where there is one brightest eye, there is a hive. There is a galaxy, and we are unstoppable. And I should know, because I saw what she has been able to do. She is deadly, dangerous.
All right. Yeah, this is a speech. Go ahead and roll for it, man. This is 24. Go for it. Have fun.
I like that he's just got 24 dice in a box. He's like, whatever.
He just keeps rolling it.
4, 5, 6.
You're rolling against
7,
5 blocks,
8, 9,
each of which
10,
have their own
11,
dice pools.
12, and then 11.
11?
Some of those were.
Okay.
I counted them.
Oh, okay.
The hall sort of goes silent for a second, and then one by one, people start clapping. And they stand up, and they start clapping. More and more stand up and start clapping. And
Rudy.
yeah, exactly. And Amrus is more and more worried. He looks kind of off to Pendre. Pendre looks down to him. They both walk out of they sort of like float out into their own private areas as the rest of the Cyryn marketplace seems to all call for you. They are impressed by your ability to make a deal, seemingly with the Brightest Eye government, and are allowing you to speak on behalf of yourself now.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for the chance to speak. Now, most of us here are business people. And I know most of us had to crawl from the ground all the way to the top. And we made some bad decisions altogether. And we've had some bad deals, and we've had deals that crushed us. Go into debt, bankruptcy, all of that. And did we let those deals define us? Oh no, you're all screaming no. But I say yes. Yes, they did define us. Because we had to have those deals fail to make us who we are today.
Hear, hear!
I've built myself from the ground up, not once, not twice. This will be my 3rd time, and I am living proof that it can work. I did what none of you were able to do. None of these, the Il-Gamil, they've got these stupid posters. Do you think posters and branding and all of that works? No, it's people. It's things, and it's like he said, it's Cyryn. It's us together that make a business work. So let them post their posters and let them hand out their barbaric flyers. Meanwhile, you and I will be looking each other right in the eye, and we'll be passing coins. That's what we'll be doing. Now I'm gonna get those DIK back on my side, whether it's the last thing I do. And I want my face. You know, I want to point out that my face is a face strife. Or rife with strife.
Rife with strife!
Rife with strife! Rife with strife! Rife with strife!
I could choose to be more beautiful, more pretty, more Il-Gamil-y, but I choose to show my true self. This is a self that suffered, that made deals with people and cultures that you never would have dreamed the Cyryn could have made. But I left the comfort zone of our dim world, and I bared the light of thousands of stars. So I'm here to say I'm not stopping here. You may or may not vote for me today, but you'll never wipe me out. Rife with strife! Rife with strife!
So I'm not going to make you roll for that because he already rolled for you, essentially.
Okay.
That was just a victory speech. This hall goes wild. They are suddenly like, you have a huge amount of people on your side as the chant rife with strife, which is clearly already becoming a hashtag on whatever Cyryn uses on Twitter, becomes like a whole thing.
Cyrynscape. It's called Cyrynscape.
Yeah.
Twitter.
I'd like all of you here to roll perception.
Oh no.
Except Hans, obviously.
And
who's
except me, I
currently
have a
back at the ship. kicking
negative
butt.
2.
But they said the comms are on.
Comms aren't going to help you here.
Okay.
Perception.
If you don't have a perception check, let me know. For you, Night Art's telepathy scan.
Okay.
Would listen work for me then?
Yeah, this is your listen perception.
Okay.
So 14.
Telepathy scan. Is that 24? Is that right?
Nidar, that is 24.
I have a negative 2.
4, 5.
Yep, then you just don't roll.
I'm hanging out.
You don't have very good perception. You rely on other people to
7,
perceive for you.
8.
Yes. I am deaf and blind.
All right, you guys got numbers?
Hold on.
All right.
8.
8.
Yikes. 1.
Yeah, mine's like this.
Okay.
Wait, 1?
4.
Oh, man.
4? Wow, out of 24?
Yeah.
Nidar did not see this coming. What do you got? Oh, and you weren't there. Okay.
We're like, whatever.
As Gaska, does this, all of a sudden, out of the, literally like out of the shadows and shade, a glimmer appears just next to Gaska. Suddenly, a knife swings out of the darkness and throws itself at Gaska's throat. The entire hall goes like silent as the knife literally slides like across Gaska's throat. Yeah.
Oh, we
I
suck
know.
at our job.
And she falls in a sort of like exaggerated manner backwards onto the floor of this golden thing, still breathing, but just barely. Gaska, roll for survival.
Oh, I don't have the.
I will tell you what your survival check is.
It's not good.
No, it's not. Actually, it's not bad. You actually have a pretty good survival check because you're kind of hardy.
I swapped
Oh
dice.
yeah.
I'm kind of shocked by that, but it's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I mean, get
okay.
back
I'm
to
also
us.
surprised.
Get it back to me. I'll have to
Oh
fix
my
stuff like
god,
that.
I
No problem.
hate.
But-
Hell.
We have a
From the
doctor.
shadows. I'm
He's
a doctor.
not here.
I'm a doctor.
I mean, you can also just tell me.
Roll
what to
14.
do.
I'm a bad doctor.
Okay. Come on, dice.
Come on, Gaska.
I'm a
Wait,
moderate.
is it better
Gaska.
than Not a
Yeah.
doctor.
I have a 1 in medical.
5, and then okay.
I know how
3.
some things work.
Okay.
Next,
Yeah.
generally. Okay.
Well, because words come out of that.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're good.
Okay.
Drop that willpower into it.
1,
Yeah.
2. Do I have willpower?
Oh yeah. You have 6 willpower. You want to throw willpower into that?
Yes, please.
Yeah. How much?
I really don't want to die. I want 6. I want all
Do
of
it.
I want all
Roll
of
20 then.
We have 2 inspiring figures in our party, so we can refill your willpower if need be.
Oh, we have 2 inspiring figures.
Yes, ma'am.
You did it?
Oh, nice.
That's
He's
kinda fucking
a
amazing.
mascot for the whole crew. You just find it. You just find him so.
3.
It's just like when he suffers, you
Come on,
feel
it's like,
inspired.
bam, bam,
He's just
bam,
so
bam, bam,
squishy.
bam,
Yeah.
bam, 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 bam,
1, 2.
I really hope that I have to refill the willpower of an NPC. Well, I guess you're a person.
He's a
Yes, you
person.
count as a
What's your number?
person.
Okay,
She's a
so
PC.
it's oh shoot, not good. At 10, but minus it's 8.
You had to beat a 6.
Hey, it's a success. That's awesome.
Oh, shit. Do you
Wow.
Okay, you
Just hit
fall,
that willpower.
still alive,
Enough for-
but having been
great, but-
the victim now of an assassination attempt. As you fall, we are going to, and I can't believe I'm doing this so late in the game, but I'm going to, and then we're going to come back, we're going to finish this stuff, cut to black, and go to break. We'll be right back. We'll be back in just a few minutes to wrap this thing up.
We're the worst
This has been
bodyguards
V.A.S.T.
We're not great.
Booshka!
Welcome back to V.A.S.T. Welcome back to V.A.S.T. We are back in the middle of quite a high tension scenario, and we don't have much time to get it done because I am doing something new here on V.A.S.T. and trying not to keep everybody up until 1 in the freaking morning. So for those of you who are on the East Coast and it is already, past that point, thanks.
Love you.
Yeah, I guess it's just about to be 1 in the morning in 2 minutes, so thank you very much. For those of you who are not on the East Coast or still on West Coast time, I'm going to get you to bed before 11. Let's do this, guys.
Whoa.
All right.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Let's definitely get ahead of ourselves. Speaking of which, you weren't ahead of anything. That was awful. She just fell over, blood spilling out of her neck. Hey, Gaska, what color is Cyryn blood?
Oh, well this Cyryn's blood is very black. It's
Cool.
it's pitch black.
Black blood all over the gold stone. It is quite a mess of it. All you really see is the knife, by the way. There's kind of a gleam that goes across. There's a knife that slices, and then that same gleam disappears out into the crowd. What do you do?
Listen. Although it didn't work last time, but
Okay, Pac-Ha, this is a perception listen for 14. I remind all of you that you have willpower. I'm also going to heal you from last game in case that hadn't been done yet.
That'd be nice.
What do you think I should scan for? Like maybe just see if there's anyone else out there?
I'm assuming I'm
would have a murderous
incapacitated.
thought
Yes,
against Gas.
you're just struggling to stay alive.
Okay.
But you have survived this. So even if they just like leave you here, you know, we aren't going to assume Gaska dies. We're going to assume she gets medical attention. Though they don't need to leave you here. That's up to them.
8.
8. So you listen out through the crowd, reading the space-time fluctuations throughout. Now it's a really messy place, and obviously like
I hate this place.
Yeah. No trees, no natural entities whatsoever. So weirdly, it's actually kind of easy to find the outlier because there's no natural interference. That outliner is a planar.
Oh, yeah.
Planar are a species of Colin Kelly's design. Colin, would you like to tell people what a planar are?
I would love to.
I love the planar.
He's been waiting this moment his entire
Colin
life.
came up with the planar at Rose City Comic Con as we'd run out of merchandise, and I was sitting there figuring out all of the various species that I wanted for V.A.S.T, and I was writing them all down. And I said, Colin, help me come up with a couple of species. And he came up with 2. He came up with the flame, and he came up with the planar. So Colin, what do you got?
The planar are a 2-dimensional species. They exist entirely in a flat format, giving them unique stealth capabilities and the ability to exist within dimensions that people don't really comprehend fully.
By and large, the planar are a Pac-Ha protectorate species. You don't see a lot of them outside of the Pac-Ha protectorate, but when you do, they are assassins. This is again not something really any of you know, but it's definitely Hans would know it.
Do I know what I'm seeing then?
Yeah, I mean, you at least know that you're seeing a 2-dimensional being that calls itself a planar.
And since he's the one who's good at talking, I'm like, it's a planar. Can you tell them something?
The place falls to chaos, by the way.
Nobody stand near any paintings.
I rush to Gaska to mend her wounds because of my science and my medical.
And if
Nidar, find the nearest planars.
we don't know what a planar. You guys don't know what a planar.
Well,
is.
anything that reads is. Oh, yeah. Well, you know.
Do we know?
Well, I mean, they know that it's.
So you're not talking to the
I guess
crowd.
find whatever. assassination.
No, I got orders from the captain to take care of our good friend Gaska. So I am rushing to aid.
If you
That's
know
okay,
what a
Nidar-
planar is, you can just
Can I
telepathically tell
locate?
us.
Can I do a location?
Okay, so
Absolutely, that is a scan.
Yeah, planar,
Yeah.
2-dimensional.
Telepathy scan, which is 24.
Bad.
Yep. I'm meanwhile going to put together your
Cliff Notes version.
medical
Like
check
planar?
here.
Bad. Let's find that.
Yeah.
Do it up. Shut him the fuck down.
Your medical's 11.
Dope.
Oh, +2 for the Cyryn scanner that you have, so 13.
Yes,
You have that scanner that you got from your original crew.
I do.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Badass.
Yeah, we're pretty badass.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow, nice. That's going to repair. So Gaska's down to 0 health, basically. That's going to repair 4 health to Gaska.
Ooh.
You're going to stop the bleeding.
And as I'm putting the stop to the bleeding, I'm taking care of the bleeding, and I wish to apologize as well for my previous attempts on your life. It certainly was not my intention to ever see you in this situation after our previous encounters.
Good idea.
I croak out, "That's okay, sweetie. If all I have to do is survive, and I think I got this election in the bag."
Well, as long after what happened on DIEK, I'm just glad that I'm able to repay you in this way.
Treachery! Screams the dude whose name I definitely remember, Omras. Screams Omras. Brightest Eye treachery has taken down our great Cascawedo.
What?
Seize them!
Oh,
and tower
Jesus.
security start to flood in, guns pointed at y'all.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to try to find the location of this.
Do it. Did you roll?
I rolled a 16.
Oh yeah,
coming,
you
I'm
got
getting
it.
in front of him.
There is a planar. He is headed down towards the main door, but he is still in the facility. However, because he is a planar and because he is moving stealthily, he cannot be seen by eye by any of these Cyryn, so they do not know that he is there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. If you can do
Tell them
everything
a
you can to
planar
bring
minute.
him back, under control.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Well, you guys fight off the.
Yeah. That sounds super fun because I want to do murder.
Yeah, I'm planting myself in front of Good Idea and our boss.
So sorry, say that again.
So we're gonna try. I'm gonna try to like grab hold of this planar guy and bring him back.
Okay, telepathy control, that's 14.
Captain, maybe it would be advisable, given the circumstances of this encounter and our employer's wants, to limit your engagement with the guards to non-lethal activities.
That's probably good advice. Hans, I appreciate a level head at these kinds of times.
Meanwhile, Hans, back on your vessel, they have installed new engines, new weapons. We're gonna basically rebuild the ship for the next game, just to save ourselves some time. So you and I will sit down, we'll essentially do a shopping trip.
Oh yeah, I got a whole shopping list.
I know you do, so I'm excited.
If you want to add some swag to it, Colin, you just let me know.
And we can recap that in the next game for everybody, but just to save ourselves some time, we're gonna do that off camera. However, essentially the ship is retrofitted. It is mostly ready to go at this point.
Sweet.
I assume a few more hours have passed than maybe seem like they've passed in actual game time.
So in that case, I'm gonna sprint down to help them out as quick as I can.
You want to leave the ship?
I mean,
If it's been...
Or do you want to take the ship to them?
I
Is
can't
that something
fly.
we can do?
We have limbs on board who can, though, right?
Yeah. You have limbs with basic piloting capabilities.
You're the captain.
Given that we are in open communicator conversation, I will leave this one to you. Would be happy to captain our vessel and take it to you.
It's going to get him there faster, right?
I mean, yeah, otherwise you guys are gonna have to get through the entire Cyryn capital city back to your ship. And, I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but they think you just tried to kill her.
Right, okay. Hans, our employer has just... An attempt on our employer's life has just luckily failed, and we are being blamed for it with some fervor. I think a show of force is going to be necessary, and I wouldn't complain about having someone with medical expertise on site to make sure that she can defend our case.
Say no more.
Chop liver.
Yeah, meanwhile, Colin has made her survive. And stop.
He has medical
I don't know
degrees.
anything about it. Like, I'm just assuming you just put like a band. You like pulled his T-shirt off and was like, I got you.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely like whipping off. Like I
I think that's
got
essentially correct. It's not like you have any medical tools. So
No, I've got 5 of these T-shirts, and I definitely
Yeah. You pulled off a
Yes.
Cyryn T-shirt and
Like a
you
binding
saved with
wounds.
your own merch.
Space Heart Cyryn Prime.
Say no more, Captain. The cavalry is on the way. He sits down in... what do you command from? Do you command from a chair? Do you stand?
I stand.
He takes the standing position
I haven't sat
where
down in there.
Max is, and he opens a channel for ship-wide communications. Crew of the Screaming Valor, this is Science Officer Hans-Harald Nierun, currently in command of this vessel. We are en route to our captain, transmitting coordinates to you now. It is important that you all remember to be metal as fuck.
All right, Hans, go ahead and roll for inspiring speech.
Inspiring speech.
Hold on, I'm going to make you a speech roll.
Probably not gonna be great. Like he probably just thought he said that, like opened a channel, mumbled something.
Well, you got pretty good inspiration.
It's all in his own head. And he's
He's
like,
like-
did I say that out loud?
All of them were like,
they're like,
we never
"What?" And
considered
he's
being
like,
metal
just
as fuck
go
before.
to the place.
This is your science officer.
11. Not a bad roll.
Not terrible.
Hans picked up the inspiring merit between games, which has allowed him to be a little bit more persuasive in terms of this exact kind of thing. That was a wise merit
Some
choice.
helpful.
What'd you get?
3.
Okay, well, it's not a total bot. The limbs sort of scramble all around you to various positions around the bridge as you sit, presumably, in the captain's perch. And as you sort of get onto it, it's not really built for you, so it's mostly just like a leaning post. You sort of set up against it, still standing as the ship starts to rocket up off of the platform at which it is standing. The new engine makes a very different sound than your old engine. Sort of a humming whir, less the sort of core burning, like. Imagine the old ship sounded a lot like, almost like a NASA rocket. This thing sounds a lot more like a starship.
So it's like the purring Valor now.
Indeed, it's like the purring Valor now. And as it
Install a scream sound later.
and as it
Wilhelm
and it starts to swoosh off towards the distant pyramid.
Onward, comrades, for death and glory.
For death and glory, say the limbs all in unison. For death and glory and Captain Hans, say all the limbs in
Come back. Oh, I don't know that's happening.
all together.
I'll find out. I'll tell you.
Okay, back in the room, those guys are headed at you. You are now in combat with 5 Cyryn tower guards. Colin, you are doing medical, so you are out of this combat. It is.
I tried rolling to bring him back.
Yeah. How'd that roll go?
Is that one of my turns?
Oh, we can. Let's go ahead and call that as a pre-roll because you called that before we ever got to this. Did you roll your 19?
I did. I only got a 7.
So yeah, it slows him down. He is not out of the facility yet, but he does not stop. Each of you roll your initiative, please.
Initiative.
And crits don't count, right?
Crits don't count for initiative.
Okay, cool.
I think you're.
Oh, I'm not in it. Well, I'm in this room.
Yeah, but you're not in combat, so don't worry about initiative.
Okay.
Consider basically you are the one keeping her alive. That is a passive action, or like that is an active action and is going on constantly. All right, hold on.
We got check out you. I got you. Wait, if you point there. Ooh, there we go. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Out of 5. I'm not gonna.
We do have fun.
Okay.
It's a charm.
Taka.
2.
Okay. Destroyer.
3.
4.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brain's got initiative.
No kidding. All right. So, the way that this is going to work is there's going to be 3 of them that get an action. Then Nidar, Destroyer, Taka, and then one of them gets an action and repeats. Okay. So each of you is going to take incoming fire from one of these guys. I need each of you to roll defense, please.
Whoa.
Oh boy.
I don't have much. Let's see. What do I get?
Yeah. Well, we're an offensive team. We're very offensive.
Is that just the defense?
Your defense, is that what you're rolling?
Yeah, you and me both, buddy. Ew, no.
Yeah, you too.
Oh!
Hey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Better than a kick in the butt.
Jinx.
All right. So Defender, you're first. What's your defense?
A 0.
Okay.
As per usual.
A 0.
I have 1 defense.
Yeah.
It's not
fair
how I
enough.
roll. I do murder.
All right. So that is a hit. They're gonna hit you for 5 damage.
I'm gonna get you in like a Kevlar bodysuit.
Do you hit? Does that and your Your carapace armor takes 2 of that, so 3 damage.
Mind if I steal that for one moment? Thank you.
You gonna just take that as damage?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Pac-Ha, defense.
2.
Your armor absorbs the damage.
Cool.
Nidar.
1.
You are hit, Nidar. Nidar, you are hit for 5 damage. Your
armor's
mind capsule.
Yeah, his armor's 6, right?
Well, no, his capsule has structural integrity, so that actually takes down his. It takes down the structural integrity of the thing, and then it takes down his physical integrity. Do you get what I'm saying?
So it works like our ships.
It does. So your shield is now down to 1.
You're like your little personal starship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So cute.
So basically, like your thing gets hit. They open fire with these sort of like heavy blasters. They're like blaster rifles. They fire at Destroyer. Destroyer gets hit with one of them, and it like seems to just barely it just scars his shoulder. It's like not even a thing. Pac-Ha jumps like she does one of those like cool jumps as she pulls both of her weapons, and it like time slows down and she twists in the air and one blast goes over and one blast goes below her. You know that's
just a tornado of arms and
Bullet
legs.
time!
This is why you hired her. And the last blast hits right into your pod, hitting the glass and giving you a big crack right in front of you.
Oh, crack in the glass.
Yep. Nidar, your turn. What's up?
All right. Guess what can I do? I guess I could try just shutting him down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do that. Let's see what I got.
All right, so you're gonna go after the guy who just shot you?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for telepathy control. 19.
19.
Beat a 6.
Got an 8.
He grabs his head screaming. As he like drops to his knees. You do 4 damage to that guy, and he's incapacitated for a round.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy.
Hold on a second. Eight. Says he's 4 damage?
Yeah, you said 4 damage.
Okay, cool. So yeah, he's incapacitated for 1 round. Destroyer.
Okay. So I'm gonna get all fleet of foot.
Okay, this is a new merit the Visionary Destroyer bought between games. This is Fleet of Foot. Fleet of Foot allows him to take 1 action ranged and 1 action with a weapon, or in this particular case, hand-to-hand. In the same turn. Think of it as a big advancing, jumping, awesome, combat. Go for it.
So start as per usual, intimidating roar.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll my 12.
Okay.
And actually I'm gonna put 2 willpower into that.
Okay.
Juice it up.
These guys' defenses are 8, so you have to beat 8.
Beat 8. Okay, so I've got a 14 here. Come on, buddy. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Hold on, let me just organize this.
How much willpower are you using?
2.
Okay.
That's 1 crit. 11.
Dang. Okay. So you intimidate and roar, which is going to skip their turns across the board.
Sweet.
Nice.
Eat it.
You roar out as you, I assume,
As I'm going to
aim
shoot.
up on them.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I will shoot. He took 4 HP off of one guy who's like freaking out.
Yeah.
Is that guy's defenses any lower? Is he like?
Yeah.
going
By
bananas?
being incapacitated, his defenses are lower.
Oh yeah, that guy's a dead man.
Okay, cool. Roll your ranged combat, which is a 6.
Yeah.
Is that roughly right? I mean,
Bupkis.
It is now.
yeah.
Boom.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got a 1. That's terrible.
Okay, he's gonna roll for defense. Yeah, you fire on him and it actually goes wide.
And hits Gascoena.
No, nothing like that.
Terrible job.
Pac-Ha, you're up.
So I would like to use Gunslinger, the new ability I bought between episodes,
you got
and
sexy moves.
wield 2 weapons.
All right.
So I have I have the Cyryn scatter pistol and the Pac-Ha multi thing in gun mode.
Okay, awesome.
And
May you enjoy it.
I want to do the Cyryn scatter pistol, the guy he just shot at and missed.
Okay.
And then the Pac-Ha gun at one of the guys who had it, the one who shot at me.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Roll 2 firearms attacks. To Pac-Ha, that is
well, they're
13.
Oh.
Beat a 2 and beat a 5.
And I'm rolling this twice?
Yep.
You can do it.
Oh, you did real good.
God.
Wow.
7.
It cancels out.
I see.
So 2, 4, 6, 7, 9 for the first one.
Okay. So that guy is the 4, the one who's already on his limb screaming. You bring up your Cyryn pistol, fire on him, his head blows off.
Yeah, it does.
Gone. He's dead.
Yay!
Finally, this place
Murder!
is sucking less.
Here's the murder crew.
And second one is 2, 4, 5, 7, 9.
Oh, man.
The second guy, the one who shot you, is advancing on you, and he looks back to his guys to be like, "I've got this one!" And he doesn't even finish. His head is gone.
I'm not falling out of trees. I'm so happy.
I got 2.
She
This
pulls
amazing,
both
like,
them-
spinning, gunslinging, fucking whirlwind. It's
Very
Yep.
cool.
So as soon as she pulls both guns as she's in the middle of that super awesome twist move, lands and fires immediately. Both guys go down. You are now in combat with 3 Cyryn guards. One of them opens fire on you.
No, he doesn't.
To Ka. Oh, right. No, you're right. He's skipping his turn.
Did you not do anything?
Because intimidating roar. He's so scared, it skips his turn. We're back up to Nidor.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's see. I mean, let's try that again. Let me try to shut down someone else.
All right. Go ahead and roll that big 19 again.
19.
Beat a 6.
Six exactly.
Ties go to defender. You find this guy is harder to get inside the head of. He is clearly like kind of freaking out about his buddies being down, and his resolve is a little bit harder.
All right. Damn you.
Destroyer. This might require use of your prod. You might need to get your brain dirty. All right, what do you got, Destroyer?
Yeah, I'm going to start by, I'm going to bull rush.
Okay.
So add speed to attack, which is going to be a...
So this is your hand-to-hand move,
Yeah, this is my hand-to-hand.
which is a brawl check for 9 plus your speed, which is 11. So you're going to roll 20.
That is a good roll.
We are team murder.
Team murder. So that's a 7.
As opposed to
Beat a 2.
Team Stalk.
Oh, it's better than that.
Okay.
Let's see, 6, 7.
To be
Minus
fair,
3.
we're only murdering because
I
they
got a
attacked
4.
us first.
Okay. The bull rush is successful.
We're team really
You
good at defending
do.
ourselves.
What's your hand-to-hand damage? It's 9. So, yeah, he's
Lord,
dead.
I'm a beast.
You bull rush a third Cyryn, reaching both of your pincers into him and ripping him in half in front of the whole room.
Wow.
Does that mean there's only 2 left?
Yes.
And
I'm going to
showered in
shoot
his
both
blood.
of them.
All right.
Yeah.
Pac-Ha, go for it.
No,
Before the shipping?
All right, you still got to
I'm
move.
gonna shoot the other one.
He's got another
Okay.
move.
Go ahead and roll your.
That's okay. I'm just so into killing.
Your range check is
Right,
6.
My crappy 6. Once again, a 1. Yeah, I'm just terrible at shooting things.
You do this trying to fire with one of your extra limbs. It doesn't work.
Is the other half of the guy's body like throwing off my hand? Like
Yeah. You just fire at that and blow him.
It's stuck. It's still stuck in the body.
Yeah. You rip the dude in half. The top half goes flying through the air, still screaming. You blow that up.
And everyone's like, ooh, and you're like, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, it wasn't as cool as shoot.
Totally act like it was supposed to happen.
Shooting at the other 2 guys.
Shooting both of them. Let's do this.
Do it.
So it's 2 13s, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, this is less good.
On this first roll, beat a 2. On the second one, beat a 4.
Well, the first roll is a 6.
You got it?
Got it.
And
What did you fire at that guy?
That was the Cyryn pistol first.
Okay. You fire at his leg. His leg goes out and he collapses screaming, but his gun is still up on you.
Ah, friggin'. Ooh, the second one's only a 4.
The second shot goes wide as the guy moves behind cover. The cover sort of splintering off as it does into gold dust that fills the air, obscuring his position as he turns to fire on you. Roll.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Roll for defense to Ka.
Yeah.
And 0.
Okay, it's a hit for 5 damage. Your encounter suit takes 2 of that, so 3 damage.
Over a pencil.
Certainly.
He shoots you in one of your non-gun arms. It hits your hand and burns your hand. The blaster is pretty gnarly. It leaves most of the skin on that hand charred.
Ow!
Next up is the other dude. He takes aim at Visionary Destroyer. What's your defense roll?
Oh, it's a 1.
Yeah, you can't beat this.
Yeah, whatever.
He hits you for 5 damage. Which, I'm sorry,
Is my armor
part of
soaked?
that is absorbed by your armor, which is 2, so you have 3 damage.
Yeah, I'll just take it. I'm not worried about it.
Great.
Steals for a second.
He hits you in that same shoulder, and a bunch of your carapace like blows off on your right shoulder.
Is the ship?
It is
Select
nearing.
scars.
Okay.
But they're still inside.
All right.
Meanwhile, Nidar, you can feel it. The planar is getting away. It's actually moved outside of the doors now as this combat's been going down and is heading out through the hallway.
Okay. Get it back. Should I waste a round trying to get it back?
Yeah, that's
we
going to
can-
be the
there's
most.
only 2
We're
guys
fine.
left.
Yeah, Nidar, get me that assassin now.
Let's try it again.
Okay, roll for it.
That's 19, right?
Yep. Nidar, I remind you have 6 willpower.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
And actually, if you can, I don't know if this is possible, but if you can get like an exact location on him, you can send that to Hans and he can teleport him onto the ship.
It's possible.
We could try that.
Depends on the range of our teleporters and how close I am.
You're pretty close. You're close enough that the transporter range is not a terrible idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It worked last time.
Yeah, right? Trust Hans to teleport.
For the fight.
I don't want him dead.
I really
like
want to
willpower.
test that though. I want to know if
Well,
we can.
don't we want him
So I might
alive?
not risk it at another
random
attack, or
Cyryn
would they only
citizen
be
to do that.
the 2 guys left? Would they be attacking
Oh dear.
them?
I can't tell you who they're going to attack.
Go for it. It's okay.
Okay,
It's
cool.
the most important thing.
I'll throw 2 willpower in it.
Okay,
So it's
21.
Yeah.
You're still trying to control him, or are you trying to locate him?
we're trying to
Just locate
we're trying to
him.
locate him,
Yeah,
right?
just
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
them.
Okay, so then
Exact location.
26.
Oh!
Love my crew. Have those t-shirts coming?
Beat an 8.
Caught me soft. Buying in the moons.
I like the idea that you're like, they're so well made. They're so absorbent.
The thread count is insane.
What is
The
this?
stitching is so sturdy. I'm just binding these wounds up.
And then she's bleeding through the
10.
heart part.
10. You locate him.
All right.
You have a pinpoint position. He is heading through the hallway. He has engaged the 2 guards at the doorway.
Maurice?
Maurice.
Unfortunately, Maurice is no more.
No, we are
I know.
extra.
No Reese.
Oh no.
Super inspired.
As he
Maurice.
but he is heading out. He's killed 2 of the guys as he passes through, but he is heading out the doors now.
Yeah.
All right, so I pinpoint him and I give that information to.
That information psychically applies to Hans. As you head over the, literally like right over the pyramids, you see the doors swing open, and through sort of a hail of black blood comes this
gosh.
like sheen of what almost looks like two-dimensional glass that's just shooting out across the thing. You have a transporter lock on it.
So you said I might have some familiarity or at least awareness with planar.
Yeah.
Would our brig be capable of holding one?
Yeah.
Okay.
A planar still is confined by 3-dimensional space. It itself is just perceived as a 2-dimensional object.
Okay. And I can't pull it apart molecule by molecule.
No, do not kill this
Just
thing.
as an experiment. As an experiment.
This is not the thing to
You
experiment
can do it
on.
after we clear everything up. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So
experiment on
I am
Pendray.
going to teleport it into the brig.
Okay. Another Han saves the day with a teleport roll.
We love our
God.
This is an engineering
Science
check
thing.
for
good
23.
science thing.
Good
Have
science
fun.
thing.
Oh, it's a planar though.
Fun.
It's a planar.
It is a
Exciting.
planar.
This is exciting.
But just because it's only perceived
I don't
in
have
two
anything in my
dimensions
academics
doesn't
that would
mean
tell
it
me
actually
not to do
is
this.
only two
No,
dimensions.
I'm not. I didn't mean that in an
Be
ominous
confined by
Jackson way. I
three-dimensional
literally just meant like have fun with the big
space.
roll.
I don't
However,
know how
I would like
you
you to.
have-
I would like to let you know because I just rolled its like stealth capabilities because it's a planar. You have to beat a 12. It rolled
Okay.
very high.
Oh man.
So this might be a place you want
Yeah,
to put willpower
willpower,
into.
man.
Okay, I'll put willpower into it. Sure. Whatever. Game's over. 27. We're gonna put in 4 willpower.
Do it. Let's go. 27.
Love willpower.
Technically, that's higher than its stealth roll, which is a 24.
Wow.
Planars are the stealthiest things in the galaxy.
I know, they're so cool.
You want one, don't you?
There's
I do.
a crit in there.
Someday I hope.
If that wasn't going to be brightest eye,
Yeah, that's not it. It's an 8
That's
max.
so fun.
What you got?
It's an 8 max.
Okay.
I'm not gonna count it up.
You try to get its signal, but you cannot, as it disappears into the crowd of the planet. It is gone.
All right, well, no assassin.
The warriors.
Luckily, we have the person who it was supposed to kill.
I would like to scan for the life signs of a planar in the crowd.
There you go.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Your scan is 16.
Science
Roll it.
Officer.
Keep on sciencing.
And I'm just gonna say that the Screaming Valor, because you just bought yourself some nicer scanners, one assumes.
Uh-huh.
Like, real good.
We're all real nice.
Oh, girl, you scan real good.
Fine scanners. Pew, pew, pew.
Do you want to use your personal scanners or the ship scanners?
Which are better?
Yours.
Then yeah, mine.
They're just more limited in scope.
Yeah, but we're pretty close. So.
Okay, roll 16.
Okay.
Beat a 9.
It's 16, like 2 extra on the. Okay. All right. Okay.
16 plus the 1 for cold hard logic. That's not counted, obviously.
Oh, that's interesting. Let me. That's That's that. Okay.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Your visor contacts aren't counted in your scan, which they should be.
Okay.
My bad.
So I'm gonna roll a 21, because that's visor contacts. Visor contacts plus cold hard logic. 21.
E 18, 19, because cold hard logic is just a 1.
Okay.
So 19. But if that crits, you get to roll it again.
Okay. I'm gonna roll 18 and then roll separately.
Scanning for
And you're looking to beat a 9.
planar.
Okay, we did it. It's 5 crits, 1 crit fail. That's 4.
Math.
Okay. 11.
Math, space math.
That no, that is 13.
Oh.
Yeah, 13.
13. You stop using the ship and you pull out your scanners and run a tall Klee like super pulse through this Cyryn
nice.
area. It pulses out through the whole ship. Kind of scattering a bunch of your systems and making everything fritz out. But you do manage to get a location on this thing and a target lock. So now you are able to track it as it heads through the city.
Wow.
Meanwhile, back in the room, there's still 2 dudes trying to kill you.
2 dudes.
Destroyer, it's your turn. What's up?
With some food.
Kill him.
Okay. Claw swipe.
Lost wipe
So 5d10 to hand. That's 14.
adds 5d10 to your hand-to-hand.
14. Plus 2, any crit fails, 1 crit fail.
Beat a 3.
Oh, yeah. 7, 8, 9. 9.
All right. The
Oh,
the one who was already down
Yeah.
is now dead.
Good. Okay.
You basically, he's trying to get up and you step on him. Right through his back.
Cash, as I'm like turning around to shoot the other guy, I'm like, I'm sorry, did that go through your spine?
You hired good bodyguards.
Yeah, I sure
Really getting stabbed in the neck.
Good reaction, everybody.
Yeah, assuming what you wanted was all your Cyryn friends dead.
They're
And then
redeeming
for
themselves.
my, for my gun, I roll
We
a 4.
avenge.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Amy. You tweeted my bananas? Amy tweeted my discarded
It
bananas.
just looks so funny because you look so fancy, and then you just pan down, and it's just trash. It's just garbage underneath.
I can't leave, you guys. I can't
a
leave.
3-foot tall pile of garbage and banana peels.
Yeah. He's
Just
garbage.
wherever I go.
He's garbage all the way
I
down.
float on it like Nigel.
You're like Big Ben.
He's getting into the brightest sky spirit.
Okay, so what do we get there?
4 for my gun, which is as good as you could probably ever expect.
Amazingly, you beat his 3.
Yes.
So what's your gun? What's the damage on your gun?
A lot. 8.
Whoa.
Because it's a real murder gun.
He disintegrates. The burn gun hits him and immediately burns through his armor, then through his body as he screams. And he's gone.
Okay, that's everyone, right?
Yep, that's all of the immediate cops.
Gaska, should any, as I'm kneeling down, should we take this opportunity to eliminate any of your other opponents?
No, I like people to play with. As long as they're in the game, I can handle them.
And I take a position in front of Gaska and Good Idea, so very clearly protecting them.
Got it. Where are you, you bastard? Amras puts up his hands. What a display! I don't know what to say. They seem to have her captive. Somebody must destroy these brightest eye before they take away our great Gaska Ueno.
Nidar, do me a favor.
Yeah, let's do something.
I think our employer's voice needs to be heard. Would you mind connecting her to everyone in this room?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's try that.
All right, Nidar. This is a telepathy empathy. 10.
10.
Oh no.
How much willpower?
Oh,
You just need a medium success for this. It's not like an
We've been rolling like
insane roll, but if you
45s.
fail, you fail.
I know. Well,
It's like a meager 10.
Boo! Paltry numbers.
6. Oh.
4.
The best looking member
Hey.
of the crew.
Above a 3, you're all right.
Oh, does she?
You connect as best you can to the various things here. You sort of become the same way that you would on a ship. You sort of program in among all of them, lace yourself into them, and plug yourself into Gaska, essentially acting as a loudspeaker.
Okay, and Gaska Weekly says, Amras is a traitor. Certainly you don't believe his lies. He's the one who hired that planar to get me. He's playing dirty, and if he wants to swim with the fishes, I'll swim right back at him with the sharks.
With the space
I do declare I did nothing. I did not hire any such thing. I don't even know what they're talking about. This is clearly brightest eye trickery.
He's certainly sweating a lot, don't y'all think?
Okay, Gaska, roll diplomacy manipulation. Just 21.
Okay, I think that's, ooh.
I'm pretty sure that if between her diplomacy manipulation and my worm tonguing, if you ever want to just like take over and rule the entire galaxy, I am pretty sure
Casual conversation.
Yeah, just like casually normal convo.
If right now Amorous was pulled apart molecule by a transmitter.
Man, Hans just really wants to do this molecule by molecule. He's just gonna keep pitching.
I want Hans to do it. I'm 100% with you.
So right now, like this guy,
I don't know if Amras is the guy.
I don't know. I feel like what she wants is like a show of force from her bodyguards, like intimidation.
Fuck.
I think we just did okay.
How'd you do?
Yeah.
Really bad.
Oh no, guys.
Quiet in the room.
Wait.
I rolled only 4 successes, and 6 1s.
Whoa!
The whole hall, the whole hall suddenly falls into total discord. More guns are being pulled. More people are freaking out. The Cyryn homeworld is suddenly becoming a very, very hostile place to be. Outside, Hans, you are tracking the position of that planar. You have one more chance to transport him up. Would you like to try it?
I mean, I could pull Amaris apart.
I don't think that would help
Sorry,
at this
let
point.
me put it this way. Things get nuts inside the room.
Right.
Visionary Destroyer, what do you do?
Okay. Hans, I need to.
And you pass out from the stress.
I need to produce an assassin.
Okay.
Forget the brig. I want it in my hands.
All right. I attempt to do that.
Okay. This is an engineering roll. Hans, roll your engineering, which is 23.
That couldn't have gone worse.
Yay, science.
No, that really could not have gone worse. That was a negative success. That was a full-on biff.
You incited riots.
That did not go well at all. Not many people agreed with you. Lots of people agreed with Amras. Lots of people agreed with other people. Chaos has ensued, and no one trusts them. Literally, some of the people who were yelling are like, "The last time we treated with the brightest eye, we all died." It is not they're not having a great time.
Okay.
And meanwhile, I'm to
Can
get
I
idea. I'm like,
inspire
stay
myself
behind me.
before this
No.
roll?
I got no problem with that.
No,
No?
you don't inspire yourself.
Okay.
There's none of this.
No, doesn't work.
You're doing a good
You
job.
inspire other people. It's a bard roll, not a self-fulfillment roll. 9.
He can't look in a mirror and go like, "You're beautiful. You're smart."
Yeah, you're smart
And
enough. You're
people
good
like
enough. And
you.
God damn, gosh darn it, people like you. They do. It doesn't help him.
We all do.
9. He rolled a 9.
Okay. Defender does a thing.
Yeah,
I hate that.
rolls go to defenders.
Fucking two-dimensional little
This
goof.
guy is planar guys.
I know, he's real stealthy. So you try to beam him up. You're doing the best you can. You manage to get because you're trying to beam him to him.
Yeah.
You don't manage that. What you do manage to do is pull him apart molecule by molecule.
That works. Yes.
This essentially, you try to get a hold of him, he tries to get away, you try to get a hold of him, he tries to get away, and you find yourself overloading your transporters on the Karnala to the point that they start sparking. Oh no. And the thing and the planar itself disintegrates.
That's all I have to do in the future is overload the transporters.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this is a happenstance accident given the chemistry of a planar and its ability to escape you.
Captain.
We know how to murder planet.
Captain.
Yeah.
I can diffuse the situation. If you get me a microphone, I can diffuse the situation.
Guns are being pulled. You have
my
almost
gosh.
no
Gas
time
goes
before
out,
things
right?
start going bad. Yeah.
Wait.
I-
Hearing that, I just punch on the megaphone on the.
Okay, and
screaming
I
valve.
wanna. If there's, I have a feeling I've been saving some dirt on Amras, and I want to whisper it to.
You're passed out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
You
that's
passed
right.
out from the strain.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
okay. All right.
Okay, so
The
Firefly.
fruits of a biff.
But she had a
style.
microphone, right?
What was that?
She had a microphone,
Yes.
right? So that would be easy enough for him to take it because he's right
we
with her.
can-
Yeah,
We
he
can
could
run it
step
through the-
up to her microphone.
We can run it through the comms though on the Screaming Valor. Right?
Literally, however you want to do it. It's up to you guys.
my
no,
God.
make it big.
Firefly style. Punch on the megaphones on the front of the Screaming Valor. He's just got his communicator
Yeah.
and he can talk.
And presumably, you also step up to the microphone so they can hear you inside.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Cyryn, Cyryn Collection Marketplace, you turn against this woman Gaska, but you know she is true. She is here because we are not here by chance. We are Brightest Eye. And as Brightest Eye, we are here because she negotiated the deal of a lifetime. The failure of DIK was merely a feint. Her goal to encourage and encounter SLATE information was successful, which is why I am here. I am here. The key component of the SLATE. The tongue known as this might be a good idea.
Oh my God.
That she worked to gather and inform on. She negotiated this. Everyone, put down your weapons. She is your leader.
Holy,
All right, worm tongue. Worm tongue, 24.
This is really
that is
problematic
so much
now.
information that you just gave pirates.
Takasa has all of her guns out.
I love the idea
Oh,
that this was
gosh.
supposed to diffuse the situation.
I know, they're gonna come after you.
1, 2, 3.
Why would you say that? You just waved a heaping pile of gold.
To be fair, they did just see us kill everyone in the room. So if they want to take their
6.
chances.
Yeah.
Only a 5.
Every single gun in the entire freaking place points at Colin. Like, good idea is suddenly the most valuable thing in this entire room, and every Cyryn knows it.
And I stand in front. I am in front of him.
Yeah, and you pull both of your guns. Amrus declares, "I declare him property of the Salha Syndicate." And across the thing, Pendre goes, "No, he is Ilgranil property as part of our merger that we just announced." And like literally all around, they're all arguing about whose property he is.
I'm gonna grab the mic. No, he is property of the Corsairs. I am captain of the Corsairs, and if you don't believe me, you can see the Karnala docked with my ship. I took him, and he is mine, and he is not for barter. Come to me with your offers if you will, and I will think what scraps I will give you from my table. But the richest Cyryn in the galaxy is a brightest eye.
All right, roll your. This is a speech roll, which is basically a command roll. Roll 19.
This is crazy.
This has gotten real crazy.
Beat a 6. Whoa, Jesus. Beat a 6.
Can I? How's your willpower?
I'm still gonna put some willpower into that. 'Cause
Okay, you still got
I
4
am
left.
just afraid of the world
I
right
can
now.
I can refill your willpower.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Beat a 6. That was a 19.
Not at this point. He's already made the action.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
But
it's fine. It's fine.
afterward.
I'm gonna put 2 into it.
Okay.
Why would you say that?
I don't know.
20. What's
wrong with you?
I guess I just went
I definitely beat
crazy.
it. Hold on a sec. Any crit misses? There's 1, 2, 3.
Oh my
Oh my god.
Hits. There's some
This is
ones, that's
madness.
-2, that's a
This is madness, you guys. I'd like you to
One
know
real quick.
there's like a whole episode Anne had written that came after all of this.
Sorry, Anne.
No, it's fine. This was also Anne. I'm
Okay.
just saying, like, man, someday we're gonna do some really cool stuff with like underworld dealings, and it's gonna be real rad, but it's not gonna be tonight. What do you got?
8.
And with that, everybody gets scared again. Because everybody knows not to
Fucking
screw with the brightest eye.
Standing
Guns,
as tall as I can
and they
right
and
now.
they see the bodies. One by one, each gun in the hall, hundreds of them, drops.
I do not lower my guns at all.
And
Nor should you.
and Amrus floats up. In the name of our dearly injured trade leader, Gascabueno, I would like to offer you some dealing.
We are happy. You are happy.
When
Having a very
Gasca
happy
is
dream right
recovered,
now.
Yeah.
she will negotiate on our behalf. Our contract is with her.
Whatever you say. And he floats away, and a door is made for you to depart.
You guys go ahead. I'll
No.
guns.
Is my man the only one here who will tend to her wounds?
And then
Are we the only reason she's alive?
suddenly a few different people all swing over to get her on a stretcher and get her out to a medical bay, and like, yeah, no, that's they scramble upon that word.
Nice.
And then Bara's outside, right?
Yeah, Bara's outside.
Okay.
What's going on?
Bring me her brother.
And a couple of the guards look at each other, like they're not used to taking orders, and then another one of them goes, "Go, go!" And they run out. A few minutes later, they come back empty-handed. Para Ueno has disappeared, says one of them. We do not know where he is. And somebody from the crowd shouts, he did it! And another, traitor! And another, her own brother! And they all sort of start to come to a consensus.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
All right.
It's almost like when the Concordance makes a decision.
Yeah.
It just does it.
Oh, so you get that.
Bara Ueno is an enemy of the Corsairs for having attempted an assassination on your trade
Leader.
On your trade leader, Gasco Ueno. The way of the brightest eye would be to kill him without a second thought. But I'm not here to mandate Cyryn politics. Deal with him as you will, but if I see him, don't expect a breathing Cyryn to come back. I leave you with that.
And you exit the place?
Yep.
And you do. Exiting, Taka sort of covering your path, both guns still up, I assume.
Especially him, yeah.
As Gaska is taken to repair herself and thus become the new trade leader of the Cyryn Ventures.
That's pretty cool.
Probably with a nifty scar.
You find you walk out of the pyramid through the like bloodbath of the pyramid.
They're all just gonna let me go. They're gonna let this happen.
Yep.
I own you.
I'm just like,
Great, cool, safe and sound.
And as they as you walk back out, your ship, newly upgraded, looking a little bit different, with new Cyryn weapons ports, a new Cyryn engine, new Cyryn armors, and with the Karnala actually now embedded into it. It's no longer like towing it. It's literally been like built onto it. So you're sort of dealing with like one mega ship now.
Yes.
mega ship.
Is hovering above you as you step out.
Cool. And we've got a Cyryn crew, right? Gaska provided
Yep.
crew? Yes.
Yep.
And we don't have to like bribe them to be loyal.
No, you
like
do
our
not.
last Cyryn crew.
A gangplank comes down, and two Cyryn, they're all Cyryn Prime, step down to you, and they both salute. Captain?
At ease.
Wait, can I? Captain Hansarald Nirun welcomes you aboard.
Hans comes out between the two of them. Do you want to do the relieved thing?
Nice.
I lightly slap you.
He bats you as you walk out of the car.
Don't be silly.
And as you guys head into the ship, and the ship closes up, and the ship, I assume you're headed back towards Brightest Eye?
Can I radio a goodbye?
If you like.
Yes, radio goodbye.
All right.
Hello, calling from my sick bed. Just wanted to say a hearty thank you. I walked in with more confidence than I should have, and you delivered. So, Captain VD, it's my pleasure to know you.
Yeah.
I've been calling him that for months.
It was something we straight up knew was going to happen when we named his character, and I was like, I'm just waiting.
That you had to drop.
It's dangerous and no one likes him.
Hashtag Captain VD.
May you and your crew have light always coming out of your eyes.
So sweet. That's so sweet. That's so nice.
Trade Leader Ueno, I thank you for the help you've given us. And although I have no idea what it is you're really trying to say, I appreciate everything you've done. The Cyryn and the Brightest Eye haven't exactly had good political relations in the past 1,000 years.
But the Brightest Eye and Gasco Ueno have.
All of our contracts for the Corsairs will run through you. Keep them in line. Keep them profitable. And make sure I get my cut.
I like you. I always did. Well, this Cyryn needs to take a nap. I'll leave you with that. Safe travels through space. See you on the next planet revolution.
I'm sure we can arrange one.
And as the vessel fires off into the distance, I want to give each of you a chance to, if you have any wrap-up stuff, you want to have a conversation, you have a person you've wanted to talk to, you have a thing you wanted to do, your ship is now headed out towards the brightest eye to complete its mission, I assume?
Oh yeah, like full throttle. Whatever it is, like I will burn
down a pilot, but plus a worm tongue.
Before we left her, I was just like puppy dog eyes. I was just like, and then we left.
You were just up against like a porthole, being like,
You framed her for murder.
Hey, good idea. Roll resolve one more time. One last time. One more time.
One more
change the
time.
beat slightly so that we're right free.
That's my 16. Get back in there. Oh no, that's not 1, 2.
See, rolling by shaking this thing,
Yeah.
it never works out.
It's
Four.
not, there's no difference.
Yeah, but when it's
all
this roll, it's-
statistically the same.
I know, right? And yet.
And yet,
The 3.
you get the 3.
You're on our team. Deal with
Babe, do not want to be on this team. No. No.
If anyone else wants to have conversations first, that's fine. But I would like to talk to Good Idea at some point.
Okay.
I want to talk to him, but I'll talk to him after you do.
Sure.
That one.
Sure. Okay.
And
Better months, any conversations
there
you
was
wanna
the
have?
thing
I'll
that
let
I-
everyone
Yeah,
know.
what do you so
Do you wanna
let's
do that
start
now?
there. Let's go here, and then we're done.
So
Go.
I have been accumulating medical and science merits for a long time to do bioevolutionary and engineering upgrades to my crew members. Hans is a transhumanist, and he's ready for that stuff. And I think I'm finally ready to upgrade a crew member. But I don't want it to be Visionary Destroyer. I want it to be Nidar.
My squishy friend.
Science bros.
Yeah, and
What are you upgrading?
he's feeling feelings, and
feelings.
he's trying to process them. And as with everything with Hans, he's like, you know what? We'll solve problems. Everybody just needs to be better. We all need to be better. We're gonna upgrade and hack everybody. And he's gonna start with his friend. And I want to permanently improve Nidar's telepathy. And if, as a result of that, you're able to help me get my secondary neural cortex
Yeah,
back a little
we
better
can do that
in the
again.
future, that could be rad.
Okay. This is going to essentially operate as a merit. We're going to call it biohacking.
Okay.
We're going to say biohacking, and in this case, telepathy. Okay.
Okay.
You are going to roll for this, Hans. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be a bioengineering roll, which is 23.
Should we include neuroscience in that, which is brand new?
Yes. In this particular case, so 25.
Sweet.
It's a fine roll, whatever.
What we got?
Mets and
Were you
Mets.
doing puppy eyes at Goska?
Yeah.
What was that supposed to mean?
He wants to be saved.
He
wants to be taken
Gaska
away.
completely thought it was
this
for
is good,
forgiveness,
right?
and she was like, I forgive you. She just misinterpreted that.
I've got
For a good idea, there's no one to help.
Also, I need to point
So
out that her
14,
dealings
right?
with the Pac-Ha had her framed for a crime she did not commit, and her dealings with the brightest eye saved her life. I just want to point that out.
I did.
Just saying.
What do you got?
I did frame you.
14.
She's been framed for worse.
Yeah. Nuts.
So considering the difficulty of the roll, right? You needed at least a full success just to get a 1 dot here. Getting up to a beyond that, I'm going to give him 2 new dots.
Whoa.
So his telepathy just got upgraded by 2 dice.
That's
Because
a
they
big
biohack
beefy.
telepathy. Consider basically that you went under Hans's nano knife here, and he went in and really started to like as your let's just say the jar needs to get rebuilt.
Yeah.
So as the limbs on the ship
yeah,
work
thing's
on
cracked as
rebuilding
hell.
your jar, Hans actually just sort of sat there with you in sort of a fluid bath and started to work on you.
Nice.
Well, you guys took a bath.
Now he's got
together.
like circuits all over his brain.
He's got now you have basically like circuits laced in your brain.
So his telepathy merit goes from 5 to 6?
No, he's gonna have a new merit because if these things get undone, I want to be able to undo them.
Oh,
clean.
sure.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's called biohack telepathy.
Okay.
It's a new merit. I put it on his character sheet, and it's got 2 extra nuts.
Nice.
So they sort of pass the night. Nidar unconscious and Hans doing his first upgrading, singing to himself an old tall Klee tune or whatever.
singing to
And
me.
then just as we're finishing,
I want to play with your brain right now.
yeah, Nidar. This is not going to affect, obviously, what happens here. But I'm curious. Being that it is just us, and that I am making you substantially more powerful in this moment, can the captain fully trust you?
Well, because it is just us, as you say. I have very strong feelings about serving under our captain. I always have. And ever since that visit to the library, it's a little out of my reach and out of my understanding, but I grow weary of being under his command.
Then we shall leave it at that, brain friend.
My squishy friend.
Meanwhile, with that captain, where do you take him?
My quarters.
Great opportunity to use that airlock again, but okay.
No.
I'm just messing with you.
Do not like airlocks.
So
My quarters. I love the airlock.
good idea. You step into Visionary Destroyer's quarters, which is essentially a web within which he sits.
Of course, I've been to many a brightest eye.
Yeah, you've seen many of these things before.
Captain, I was very happy with how our encounter went upon that planet. Gassica is a notorious and clever foe. You handled yourself with dignity, valor, strength, and charisma.
Thank you. Astonishingly, the foe I was expecting to run up against wasn't Gassica. It was you. You've been a lot of things to me. You've been an opportunity to gain rank. You've been a zealous goal. You've been a thorn in my side. And oddly enough, now, you become a member of my crew. I have something of a reputation for being two-faced. I love the crew that serves beneath me. I would do anything for them. I would die for them. And yet, I assume they would do the same for me.
By the way, you can tell a certain amount of emotionality in this guy because he's not just talking about his crew. There's something deeper here. A loss. A scar.
And that assumption may go farther than they're willing to accept. When I tell you you're a member of my crew, I mean you will be taken care of here. You will be loved and respected. But you will also be expected to give everything you've ever had to this ship and its members.
And if I'm expected to give everything that I have to this ship and its members, I feel it is my absolute duty to inform you, Captain, that you are making a ignorant, brazen mistake, clouded by your own hubris, pride, and sense of being. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have always been one of many, billions within the brightest eye. The eye shines bright. Now, with me under your control, you are famous. You are important. You are not just one, you are the one. To bring me back as a member of your crew, loved and respected, to once again be locked within a box. So that what few survive of the brightest eye may continue to eke out some kind of existence as the SLATE encroaches ever closer, killing more and more and more. Let me ask you this. Are you more interested in your own glory or the survival of the galaxy or of the defeating of the SLATE?
Well, what do you have in mind?
Captain, I do not know what energy courses through my body. I wish I could explain to you what was done to me. I'm not sure I can. What I can tell you is that your masters saw fit to put me in a box. 'Twas the best they could do, was the most that their concordance, so glorious, could assess. But let me ask you this, knowing your fathers, knowing the great mother who watches over all of us, is a simple holding. Do you think that they have the scientific acumen, the intelligence to best save themselves? Or would they be willing to merely sit upon an iceberg while the rest of the sea, the rest of their world drowns? I do not think if the betterment of this galaxy is what you truly desire. For I think you are a wise and oddly far-sighted brightest eye. Is taking me back to save what few remain truly the best for your people?
Okay, 24 Worm Tongue. Max, Visionary Destroyer. You're rolling a social defense. This is 15. I'm gonna have you add your resolve to this, so for 18.
Hey, I'm glad I upped my resolve a little bit.
15, even willpower? Or?
20.
I have 2 left.
Good idea, you still have
Sort of
6
willing to
willpower, you
figure
haven't
this
spent
out,
anything this game.
actually.
I'm gonna go ahead and use it all.
'Kay.
Can I borrow some dice? Let me use some of
5
not
over
your
here.
dice. Give me 5.
Some of mine? You want a piece
Yeah,
of me
can
on
I
that
use
one?
your dice?
Oh my.
Your dice are beautiful, but I don't want to mix them in with our.
And just so I'm
Hoi
clear,
polloi.
essentially the point that you're making is
No, I
by
kinda
saving the
wanna
brightest
hear it,
eye, he might be
actually.
still dooming the rest of the galaxy to suffer under the SLATE. Shouldn't he be thinking bigger?
Although I have a pretty good defense roll here.
my hands are not big enough for all these dice.
Wow.
All right, give me your defense roll, Max.
12.
12.
Fuck.
Pretty good.
That's a 12 roll out of
Oh
what?
shit. There's a one.
Out of 18. 1 crit, no crit misses.
Your social defense is 15, 16, 17, 18. Got it.
That's
And what was it?
12.
It's really high.
Okay, so
And you didn't throw willpower
put the
in.
ones.
I know, right?
I kind of wanted to lose that roll, honestly.
Well, we'll
1,
see.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Minus 2 is
Wow.
10.
Okay.
This
so,
is a weird moment.
yeah, it's a full success against a full success. Or an outstanding success against an outstanding success. But you've still won the combat. So, here's how this goes. His words move you. Not enough to change your mission, but maybe enough to put a like a chink in it.
Like a wrinkle in it.
Yeah. Like just enough of a just enough to start getting you to think a little bigger, considering how much time you've spent out here and how much you've realized other people suffer to the SLATE. You just left a system that's literally in perpetual darkness because a piece of SLATE energy passed through its sun. As you start to realize that, you are still driven by your mission and your concordance to do the thing you're supposed to be doing. But your worldview is starting to expand. It troubles you, and you want to get out of this conversation.
Okay. Good idea. I'll make you a deal. Let me play the Cyryn for a moment. We're taking you back to brightest eye space. That's the mission. But we've got some time before we get there. Luckily, I have what appears to be one of the great scientific minds of the galaxy on my ship. If we can take what's been done to you and turn it into anything else other than a weapon living inside a man, we'll do it. And I'll deliver that to the mother. What happens to you as a person is vaguely irrelevant. What I need is to destroy the SLATE. What I need is to save my people.
So if we together can form a plan, somehow utilizing my unique physiology to defeat the SLATE, you will not return me to my cage.
That's the long and short of it.
Then, Captain, a negotiation may be a good idea.
I want to just end it there. Can we do the Pac-Ha scene in our next episode? Or
Yeah,
do you...
that's fine. We can do that.
Okay, because that's so good.
Yeah, no, that's
We're going to end with that. Way to go. That ends this episode of V.A.S.T. This was the Cyryn contract, written by Adam Morton Agnew, and starring Colin Kelly, Jody Hauser, Max Isaacson, Ray Utarnachet, and Jonathan Callan, with guest star returning Amy Vorp. I want to thank Syrinscape for their incredible music. I want to thank Alpha for having us. I want to thank our incredible crew here and our continued efforts of our valiant writers for whom I paved over half of their episode over improv. I appreciate you guys sticking with us this late. I totally lied about the 11 thing, but I got pretty close.
Pretty close, yeah!
We didn't go to
Jackson, pretty
midnight.
close!
Hooray! I'm working on it.
Yay!
Next week, tune in for our first Pac-Ha mission after the big shakeup, which promises to be quite the tearjerker. It's going to be
so sad that Noble's dead, guys.
it's going to be a big
I'm
one.
really upset.
I am pretty excited about it. So tune in next week. I actually I have the writer of the episode here. Nick, will you come here for a sec?
Nick Bragg!
This is Nick Bragg. He's the writer of next week's episode. Nick, what's the name of next week's episode?
What is the name of next week's episode? Force Majeure?
Force Majeure, coming next week on V.A.S.T.
Woo!